everyone. Welcome to episode 55 of the Nintendo Prime podcast. A special episode.
55.
For many reasons.
That's older than my mom.
Whoa.
Jeez. I don't even know how I would respond to that. Is that older than my mom? I think it's older than my mom, too. And I'm a lot older than you. What does that say?
Yeah.
I don't know, Nate.
Anyways. If you guys can't tell, Mr. Darrin Har has returned.
Back in black, ready to stay, hopefully be here every week to spew my bad Nintendo opinions.
Yeah, it's been gone, 4 or 5 weeks? Something like that. It's been a while.
Yeah, I kind of lost my recording space temporarily because the people who let me use that space left for a month. And I was like, well, that's great.
Well,
they're back.
I mean, you could do what I used to do back in the day. You just sit in the closet. That means you got to come out of the closet every Thursday. But, you know, that's
or go back into the closet every Thursday, one of the two.
Both.
Yeah.
And obviously, we have Eric Moore here, as always.
Hello.
So, you know what's exciting? And I still haven't figured it out. You now have a Twitter account.
I do.
What the heck is it? Because I haven't followed it yet.
What? I sent you a tweet.
I'm going to follow you right now.
You know how many people tweet to me? I don't get it. Well, I get everyone. I don't read them all the time.
I sent you a message.
What is it?
Yeah,
what is it?
It is emo 8790. So EMOH 8790.
This is a milestone event. I got to go do it right now on my phone.
8790. I'm going to follow it before you, Nate.
You probably will because I don't even have Twitter open yet.
Eric Moore, 5 followers.
Yep.
Who the heck
with the Green Bay Packers
who's
background.
Following you?
A couple of my friends.
Okay.
And then one random person that I have no clue.
What is it? 87?
Yeah.
He's followed by a cosplayer named Andrea Freeman.
Oh. I don't know. Sure. I have no clue.
You're up in that cosplay scene, huh?
Yep, sure, apparently.
Did I enter it wrong? I almost entered it wrong.
EMOH 8790.
He follows 37 people already.
I do.
But he has no tweets.
Right? Huh? I know, right? Yep, 8790.
Oh, 8790. There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I follow you here. Let me bell you so I get all your tweets.
Oh, yeah. Well, you mean my whole, none so far? Because I haven't had a need to tweet. I just get it for sports news mainly.
Well, you're going to have some followers from Nintendo Prime, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably.
All tweets. I want to know all your tweets, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Every tweet. I want to get my phone buzzing.
Yes, we should have a
Dude, I follow a bunch of Bucks people on mine.
Yeah,
analyzing Eric's tweets. New segment.
All right. Anyways, welcome to the Nintendo Prime podcast, everyone. So yeah, that's exciting. Obviously, I'm gonna have to remember.
Yeah.
All right, you're here. You can just say it yourself.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can follow Darrin at Real Darrin. You can follow myself at Ninty Prime or at Nate Jantz. Ninty Prime is the one I mostly post on. At Nate Jantz is when I want to say something that might not be appropriate for public consumption. Yet I post it on a public network. Usually it's just something that, I don't know. I've been treating the Ninty Prime one like my own Twitter anyway, so I don't know. I just have 2 Twitters because it's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's how I roll.
Yeah.
It's how I roll.
You have 2 of pretty much everything.
Pretty much. I had 2 websites at one point, NintendoPrime.net and NintendoPrime.com.
Everything?
Everything.
Oh, boy. So the other special thing about this, the fact that Eric has a Twitter and that Darrin is here, is that this is the podcast following up a Nintendo Direct.
Oh, boy.
What a podcast to return to.
This does not happen very often. We usually get 2 major Nintendo Directs a year. This was considered a major one. They did not call it a mini. They did not call it anything else. This was like a Nintendo Direct.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we usually get like 2 other mini ones or smaller ones that maybe we could talk about. Usually single game related, but maybe an extra game thrown in. Obviously we had the Nintendo Mini earlier, and then there was also a week later the Nintendo Labo announcement, which was not a Direct, by the way. It was just an individual announcement. But, oh boy, I have a feeling we're going to be talking about this Direct almost the entire podcast.
Yeah, probably.
That's why we only have one other topic, and we'll see if we even get to it.
We are a Nintendo podcast, so...
Yeah.
So, for those who didn't catch the Direct, what's wrong with you? Quoting my man Reggie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know who I talked to like 2 seconds ago who hasn't watched the Nintendo Direct is Zachy.
Zach.
Yeah, I'm like, what's up? You see the Direct? And he's like, nah, not really. And I'm like, what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? yeah, that's the thing. This direct, at least, like someone was telling me because we were live streaming it. Someone was telling me that the official Nintendo Direct peaked at like 350,000 views on YouTube. I don't know when it peaked at on Twitch, but that was actually kind of low. The Mini had a higher peak than that. When I looked at the numbers on this Direct after the fact on Nintendo's channel, it didn't have a lot of views either. It seemed kind of down.
It's just because the Mini Direct was so hyped up for weeks.
The Mini Direct was hyped up for 2 days.
Okay, 2 days, but still, that's the most hyped I think anyone's ever been for a Nintendo Direct in the span of 2 days.
Maybe. Here's the thing about this Direct. All right, they gave us a day warning.
Yep,
per usual. But the thing about it is, well, you know what? Let's just recap what happened in the Direct before we do anything else, I guess. It was for 3DS and Switch games.
Yes.
The 3DS games were basically things we already knew about, except there was the WarioWare Gold or whatever, which is like a collection of WarioWare stuff.
Yep.
There was a Luigi's Mansion remaster.
Right.
Do not skip over Bowser's Inside Story.
Bowser's Inside Story. Now, granted, I think we knew the one part of it was coming. The second part that got added on, we didn't know it was going to be packaged.
That is the only worthwhile 3DS announcement of the night.
Are you beating on Luigi's Mansion over there?
Yes, I am. Already spewing out.
Well, we're just recapping right now before we get into all of our opinions. Because I don't have the full list of stuff in front of me right now. I'm trying to remember what other 3DS announcements there were. There's Detective Pikachu. Something we already knew about that, but we finally got to hear more of the voice acting in action.
That was really weird.
They wanted it to be different. It's definitely different.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what other 3DS games might have been announced.
That's what the phone's for.
Okay, so as he's looking it up, I guess I'll head on over to the Switch stuff. We got an extended look at Mario Tennis Aces. They added some new moves and stuff like that. They didn't really touch anything on the single player. I mean, they teased it with a little more gameplay of it, but they didn't really say anything. They focused more on just how the gameplay works. Yes, there's motion controls as an option. We'll get into that. And then there's you can like turn down the game mode from like standard to like a casual mode, which gets rid of some of the new options and new abilities to make it a more basic playing style, like people might remember Mario Tennis being basically way back in the day. And then let's see, we got to see more of the new Travis Touchdown game. I had to finally see gameplay of it instead of a trailer. We got to see I'm trying to think. More of Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition got a release date. We got to see Kirby Star Allies. No surprise, it releases next week.
Sucks.
Oh my gosh! Can you wait? We're recapping here. My man. We got to. I don't know. Off the top of my head, it's getting really hard to remember because it should be so fresh. But that might give you a feeling on how things are going.
Splatoon.
Oh, hey, did you find like a list of everything?
I think so.
Okay, so all right, so here's awesome. So the headlines for 3DS, the WarioWare Gold. We can't forget about pulse-spawning post-apocalyptic races and battles with Dylan.
Yeah.
Dylan's back. You guys remember Dylan from the DS days? He is back.
Oh yeah, can't forget him. No.
The Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. Blah blah blah. We talked about that. Well, we haven't talked about it. We mentioned that's the one.
Yep.
Luigi's Mansion back. Detective Pikachu. So that was basically all of the 3DS stuff.
There wasn't a whole lot.
There was the Kirby Star Allies. Yeah, it was actually really short, but we'll get to that. Kirby Star Allies, Okami HD, Shishido something with the sushi.
Yeah,
a game.
Everyone's gonna want to play that. Blockbuster.
That's not the name of the game.
Well, that's the American translation probably.
No. These are just like little things. Like is this game called Discover More Characters and Jobs and Launch Info?
Yeah.
No,
it might be.
No, that's Octopath Traveler. Anyways, Octopath Travelers. It is weird that like on mobile they don't put the name of the game in the headlines for a lot of these. It's so weird. Anyways, so you got to remember what they are. Anyways, so Octopath Travelers were shown off. They announced 2 more of the characters and that you can combine abilities of 2 different ability types per character.
Mm-hmm.
They talked about obviously I mentioned the Travis Touchdown game. They talked about Dark Souls. and how there's going to be a
Praise the sun.
there's going to be an amiibo for it, and there is and there will be a test run of they want to do a server stress test basically. So everyone's gonna, if you're available, they haven't announced when it's going to happen, but when it does happen, you will be able to try out Dark Souls on Switch for free. So I guess I'll let you know if you would like to pick it up, and that'll be the first time to actually see how the game performs on Switch.
Right.
In person, so that'll be nice. Captain Toad Treasures Tracker was announced. It is a port of the Wii U version with extra Super Mario Odyssey related stages. There was that
Undertale.
one. Is that Undertale? Okay, so
Undertale, yes.
Undertale's ported. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy was announced for Switch. What is this one? I gotta open this up. Is that actually what it's called? No, it's called Little Nightmares.
Yeah, Little Nightmares.
Little Nightmares. So Little Nightmares, it looked like a more indie-esque title. It's been released on other platforms already. So it's
with the Pac-Man hat.
Yeah, with the Pac-Man hat. If you type the Pac-Man in me, we get a Pac-Man hat. It actually looks really, really good. I have never played it, but I've heard very good things about it.
It did look interesting.
It's been out on other platforms for a while, and it does include all the DLC with that. No pricing, blah, blah, blah. There is the South Park and the Fractured Butthole. That was officially announced coming to Switch. Although the DLC and that is not being packaged in, you do have to buy it separately. Yep. Then again, Fractured Butthole is a more recent game. It's not even 6 months old at this point, I don't think. So I don't even know if all the DLC is even released yet. Because they said you could buy it in a season pass. Yeah. So the Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, obviously they give us a release date for that. And then they talked about ARMS. Surprisingly... they are still supporting ARMS quite heavily. There's going to be like this worldwide tournament online. It's a worldwide online tournament.
Is it? I thought it was just North America, Canada, or North America.
It's worldwide.
U.S. and Canada.
It's worldwide. Watch the other directs.
Okay.
You didn't watch it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's per region.
Right, okay.
North America, Europe, Japan.
Got it. Okay.
Anyways.
That makes sense.
Anyway, so there's an online tournament for that coming up in March, and then on March 31st, I think it's the final 8 contestants. Again, it's an online thing, but I don't know if Nintendo's going to fly you out to someplace and live stream it. Who knows what's going to happen?
E3 probably.
No, it's happening on March 31st.
Oh,
the finals potentially.
Yes. That's what I meant. Yeah.
If they don't do the finals that day, maybe that'll happen at E3.
Although that is a long time.
That's our ticket to E3, baby.
Yeah.
We have to dominate in the game we barely play.
Yes.
You've never played really, and
I've never
haven't played it in a long time. I mean, that's all the beginner luck.
Yes.
I played the test punch like months ago.
That's another thing. They're bringing back another test punch. It's going to be almost over a year since the game came out. They're bringing out another test punch. Kind of crazy. So they're giving people another...
Which I admire, actually, for those who haven't picked it up yet.
Yeah, like we'll get into some of these... we'll go game by game and talk about how we feel. And then obviously...
5-hour podcast. Here we go.
There was the big announcement... New paid DLC for the first time ever in Splatoon 2. Has to do with the Octolines, $20. It comes out. I don't think they gave us an exact. I think they said summer 2018. You have to go through a single player campaign with the Octolines. I believe when I listened back. I think they said 80 levels, but I could be wrong. It's also apparently the year of the Octolines.
Yep.
I mean,
the year of the squid.
Because it's 2018. No. Year of the Octoline is exactly what he said.
Yep.
Because it's 2018, and then he made the 8 figure.
Yep.
Anyways.
Well, because we had the Splatoon 2.
Yeah. Splatoon 2.
And now we have
the year of the Octoline. So, you know what? It is what it is. Anyways, that DLC is coming for the first time ever, first time paid DLC. And then once you beat the single player campaign, I believe they said you can use the Octolines in normal multiplayer and everything.
Although I think there is gear out now.
Yeah, if you pre-order
you can use the gear
DLC,
now.
You get like a special headgear or whatever.
Yeah.
That's themed after the Octolines, which I might end up doing because I play Splatoon and they're clearly going to be supporting it for a long time here.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talked about the Mario Tennis Aces stuff, and then obviously the big announcement how they entered the Direct, Smash Bros. Coming to Switch, and the big thing with that was that it was the Breath of the Wild link they showed, and then obviously they kicked it off by the OG Inklings from Splatoon 1. If you have those old school Inkling amiibo from Splatoon 1, the blue and the orange, they are the ones being featured and are going to be in the game. It doesn't mean you can't skin them to newer ones. We don't know because there's always costumes and stuff.
Right.
But yes, that was kind of the big announcement for Smash. So before we go game by game, because obviously Darren's got some very strong opinions on some.
Right.
Let's talk about this this direct in a general sense.
Yep.
Because personally, I said this in my quick reaction after, and upon reflection, I still think this way. Smash Bros. Is coming this year. It said 2018. As excited as I am for it, the fact it's coming this year, wrapping this in with another rumor that it's just a Wii U 3DS port with new characters. The thing is, if this is just a port of Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS with new characters, which is fine. That's my favorite Smash Bros. Of all time is that one. So that makes me happy. That means in this entire Direct, at least for Nintendo Switch, I'm glancing at 3DS quick. It looks like maybe the entire Direct. There wasn't a single game announced that was new. They were all ports. You either had games that were already previously announced and showed off, DLC for currently existing games, or ports. Like, I'm sitting here looking at the WarioWare Gold. That's a collection series. The new
of an old
3DS.
game.
3DS, the Dylan game's new. We'll get 3DS and props. Dylan is new. Inside Story and all stuff. It's
was already announced.
It's been announced, but there's some new elements to it.
Right.
But it's still technically a pre-existing game. But like we'll get into 3DS in a little bit. But I specifically meant on Switch.
Right.
Because that's what I was looking forward to. They spent 20 minutes on Switch stuff.
We've already made it clear that we don't really give a flying hoot about 3DS.
Well, and I'm going to give this 3DS games. We're going to give it a fair conversation.
No, I know.
But if you look at it, Kirby Star Allies, already knew about. Okami HD, again, it's HD of Okami, an old game. The Sushi Shishida, you can say that's like a new... let me actually get the exact name. Sushi Striker, The Way of the Shishido. Okay?
Right.
I like
that other one better.
Well, that game technically hasn't released yet, so you could argue it's a new game, but it was previously announced for 3DS. Last year at E3. 3DS last year at E3 was previously announced. So it is a new announcement for Switch, but it's a game that had previously been announced, and they just delayed it so long, it's also coming to Switch.
Yeah.
So I don't... is anyone really going to consider that like a new game for Switch? I mean, it is technically, but like we're not talking Breath of the Wild levels of, hey, it's a Wii U game and now we're bringing it to Switch. We're talking about a sushi game.
Yeah.
Like feeding people. Okay? We're not talking about anything big and exciting here. Octopath Travelers, already knew about it, already seen gameplay. There's a demo out on the eShop. By the way, play that demo if you're into like those RPGs and the look of the game. Oh, it's so good.
Even if you're not into RPGs, play it for the art style alone because it is amazing.
And then we have Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. Again, previously announced, it was the first time we did see gameplay of it. We saw the split Joy-Con, co-op, and everything. Looks really, really fun. 7 different levels, I think, of different styles of indie games. But the thing is with that is it's a game we already knew about was coming to Switch. And we knew it was coming this year. That's my fault.
Oh,
sorry.
It is 9:30 p.m.
Yeah, that's my wake-up alarm to wake Yulia for work, but she doesn't work tonight. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, again, port of a Wii U game.
Yeah.
The Undertale, again, port. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, again, a port of a game that's already released. The Little Nightmares, again, port of a game that's already released. South Park, port of a game already released. Hyrule Warriors, port of a game already released. Like, it's all ports.
Yep.
There was not one new announcement for Switch that wasn't a port or an already announced game. And if you think back to the Nintendo Direct Mini,
it depends on if Smash Bros is new or not. That's the
thing. The caveat is if Smash Bros is a port, because it didn't say, I don't know how they would have presented it in the title because it was Smash Bros for Wii U, Smash Bros for 3DS. What are they going to say? Smash Bros Definitive Edition? I mean, come on, that doesn't really work.
Smash Bros Ultimate Edition.
I think the official title is Nintendo Switch Super Smash Bros.
Oh.
Is the official? It's a working title.
It's a working title.
I'm guessing they're going to call it Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch. I'm just looking at their previous naming conventions. I would rather them just call it Super Smash Bros. If they're not going to give it a real subtitle.
Right.
But it is what it is. Because if it is a port, I guess that was for Wii U, for 3DS was the subtitles.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, I guess it makes sense. That's the other thing. The fact that it's called Nintendo Switch Super Smash Bros. Is kind of like, okay, they're going to call it Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch, and that's just a clear sign that this is just a port.
Super Smash Bros. We poured another game.
But now that's the thing. But even if, I mean, I don't know. Like I think that it's too soon for Smash Bros. To be here if it was brand new. If it was brand new, I just feel it's too soon to hit in 2018. Now that doesn't mean the other Smash Bros. Game hasn't been out for a while. But, like, you know, we are pretty damn sure Sakurai's not working on it anymore because he's been talking about other projects and doing other things.
Right.
And is not even listed for anything with Nintendo currently. We think Bandai Namco might possibly be making it because they helped before, but we don't really know what team's making it or porting it. The fact that Sakurai's not leading it would lead you to believe that it might take a little bit of extra time to make a brand new one. And if we look at what they've previously done with other once-per-generation games, outside of Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8, Deluxe, ported.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at all the ports were just, like, all these things were ports, so why? I'm led to believe why would Smash Bros. Be any different?
Right.
Right now,
no?
In 2018.
I mean, the only way I could see it not being is if they started right away when the Switch was, I mean, even before the Switch was announced, and it comes out at the end of this year. Like a holiday game.
Like it's also weird to me because assuming that Smash is a port, that would mean the Nintendo Direct Mini had more new game announcements than a full Nintendo Direct.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
How? Again, we don't know that it actually happened, but I am damn sure that it's a port. I'm like 99% sure they ported this game, and they're just adding new characters.
Mm-hmm. That'd be where I put my money.
And you want to know what also helps support the fact that it's a port? The Inklings are the OG Inklings from the Wii U.
Ah, yes.
They're not the Switch ones. They're not the mascots from Switch. We're talking about the OG Inklings, which is like, okay, it's a port.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll throw Ice Climbers in there because they couldn't do it because of the 3DS. So they wanted the same rosters. So the thing is, like, I think Sakurai said he actually was working on Ice Climbers, which is why I think it's an easier addition for them because Sakurai himself already worked with them and tried balancing them. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure they had them fully implemented into the game, but had to take them out due to the 3DS version.
It just didn't work well on 3DS. The frame rate dropped too much. So that's my feelings on that. And because of that, this Direct was two different things for me. Disappointing. Completely disappointing. A Nintendo Direct Mini should never outshine a full Nintendo Direct.
Mm-hmm.
And two, it also was the smartest decision Nintendo could make. They just wiped the slate clean. So E3, all we should expect is new game after new game after new game after new game. Because the only new game they've announced is Mario Tennis Aces this year.
Yeah. Which looks amazing, by the way.
It looks phenomenal. But what are your guys' general thoughts on the Direct?
I personally loved it.
Okay.
I mean, the game, I remember the last Direct that happened, the mini Direct, you were talking about the game that saved it was
Mario Tennis Aces.
Mario Tennis Aces for you.
Yeah.
Well, the game that saved it for me, I mean, was obviously the Smash Bros. Announcement. I couldn't give a crap about the Inklings. I mean, Breath of the Wild Link is, you know, where my hype is. Not that I'm saying Splatoon is bad or anything. I just haven't played it, so.
Oh, dude, you missed. I don't know if it's your kind of game. You have crappy internet too, so
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If I had good internet, you better believe I'd be all over that.
Because right now, Splatoon 2 is like selling like gangbusters. It might already be over 6 million on Switch.
Yeah, totally. I mean, if I somehow get good internet within the next few months, which I might, then I'm definitely jumping on Splatoon 2 to be sure. But I really like an announcement that I think was really buried due to the hype of other announcements like Smash Bros. Was Captain Toad with new stages on Switch.
Mm-hmm. That was cool.
Well, to be fair, the entire Direct's buried by Smash.
Well, that's true.
Everywhere I go,
this is very true.
Everywhere I've been on YouTube, everywhere I've gone, even on Nintendo websites or IGN, like Smash is the lead story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No one's talking about anything else.
This is true. But anyone who has that game sings the praises of Captain Toad. Same for
I love
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. You know, anyone who owned that game on Wii U, both games, think it's great. And now the new stages from Odyssey. I mean, I really didn't expect that. That's really cool. So I'm definitely going to pick that up. And then Hyrule Warriors, yeah, I'm going to pick that up because we talked about that before.
Yeah.
You're a sucker, Darrin. A sucker.
Everything else, I really could not care about.
Well, okay.
All the 3DS announcements besides Bowser's Inside Story, nah. Mario Tennis Aces, yeah, I'll probably pick it up, but nah. But, I mean, just those announcements, I'm satisfied with. I really wasn't expecting much. You know, some people are like, oh, I hope they show off Pokemon and Metroid Prime 4 and a new Smash and Animal Crossing. Yeah, I was kind of hoping for Animal Crossing too, but hey, we got E3.
No, I was going to say that's probably all E3.
Well, the thing is people expected new game announcements. Not to forget rumors and speculation. They expected new game announcements because we got a new game announcement in a Nintendo Direct Mini. This is a full half-hour fat Nintendo Direct.
Mm-hmm. I liked this Direct more than the Direct Mini.
That's probably because the games appeal to you more.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely. I understand that. I think overall quality of games definitely favors this Direct, just because, like when I said I'm disappointed in the Direct, it's just because it's all ports.
Right.
And it's not because they're not games. I'm buying South Park: The Fetch a Butthole. I haven't played it. I really want to play it. I've been putting it off because I thought it might come to Switch. It is coming to Switch, and I didn't play the first South Park game, so this is going to be a whole fresh...
The Stick of Truth?
Yeah, Stick of Truth. This is going to be a whole fresh experience for me, and I love South Park.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it's going to make for insanely fun live streams, and, you know, it's going to be crazy. Yeah. I love Okami,
I mean,
so I'm glad it's coming in HD. Am I going to pick it up? Probably not. Like, my issue is, like, a lot of these ports, especially of, like, the AAA games, they're going to be $60.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally just made a video this past week about how I'm actually starting to get tired of these old games just because they're on Switch. We charge $60.
Mm-hmm.
Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, $60. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, $60. And I understand the Definitive Edition. You can argue, oh, they're adding the skins and they're combining two versions of the game. Blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. All this content has existed before besides the skins.
Right.
You already spent $60 plus $20 on a season pass plus $40 on a new game. Already spent $120.
And the season pass for that game.
Yeah, and the season pass. I don't even know if I bought the season pass for that. I was so frustrated.
I did.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Mister, I'm buying it for a third time plus all DLC. Captain Code, I'm actually afraid that Treasure Tracker they're going to charge $60 for, and it wasn't even $60 on Wii U. Dark Souls, probably going to be $60. It's a quote-unquote remaster coming to all platforms.
Oh, yeah.
So at least that'll be equal treatment to other platforms. Doesn't mean I think it should be $60. I don't know. What did the Insane Trilogy release for? Any of you guys know for PlayStation 4? I can't remember if it was like 40 or... I don't think that was a fat 60.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guarantee you South Park is going to end up being 60.
No, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I don't like about all these ports, Nate, because I just bought Shadow of the Colossus remake for PS4 because I saw it in Walmart and it was $40. It was a couple days after launch day, and I'm like, oh wait, this game's $40. I'm buying this right now. Mm-hmm. They very well could have charged $60 for it because it's totally remade from the ground up. Looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a port, but they're charging $40 for it, which is amazing. I mean, and they're charging $60 for all those other games.
I made this argument that any port, let me put it this way, any port from Wii U should just be $40 out the gate. That's still to me, that's still too high. Like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, you can get for $20 right now on Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
So that's double the price of what it is on Wii U. But I'm going to factor in the fact that cartridges cost a little more, and the argument that it's a new game for people who never brought Wii U. I agree.
Nintendo is enforcing their own Switch tax.
Yeah, like I agree that that's a good argument for it to cost $40.
Right.
When people say, "Oh, well, it's a new game for me, so I don't care. I'm going to spend $60." It's like, no. Even though it's a new game for you, you consciously know that game came out 4 years ago.
Right.
You know this, so you know it's a 4-year-old game. You know it's a Wii U game, bare minimum, and that it's ported over. So why they added Funky Kong? Okay.
Woo.
No new stages, no new levels, no new nothing. They added a new character with new abilities.
Woo.
That's like saying, you know what? They brought Smash Bros. Over, and the only thing they're going to do with Smash Bros. Add the Inklings, $60.
And Ice Climbers. We don't even know that.
There would be riots in the streets.
Well, and you know what? It would make it even worse. They add it, they go $60, and they don't include any of the DLC characters.
Then there would be riots.
You have to buy them all over again.
Yeah, that'd be riots.
And people would do it. People would do it. People would spend the
they
$60. They would buy all the individual characters again because of Smash Bros. And because a lot of people didn't buy it because of the Wii U, even though it was on 3DS. Can't tell me there weren't a lot of 3DS owners. Right. 70 million plus of them. That's my thing. Like, I like these. Like, I'm just going through the list. Kirby Star Allies. I'm probably end up picking it up eventually. Travis Touchdown. I'm probably going to get. Octopath Travelers is a definite buy. Dark Souls is a definite buy because I've never played it. So, well, I shouldn't say definite buy. I'm going to try out the global test they have for it. And then if I enjoy that, I will pick it up. Captain Code Treasure Trackers. The thing is, I want to get it because of the Odyssey stages. Because I love Treasure Tracker. It's amazing. But I'm not so sure it's amazing if they charge $60.
Right.
I don't know if Odyssey stages are worth $60. So that's a wait and see. If they get that at the right price point, I will pick it up. Which, again, I've already said, $40 and under. Right price point.
Could just wait until the price drops.
Undertale, just not something I am interested in replaying. So I'll just let that be. A lot of people are going to be excited about it. I know Undertale was a huge deal.
I mean, I'm definitely interested in replaying that because I didn't do all of the things I could have done.
And a lot of people are going to be like, look, I own a Switch. I want all my favorite games on one platform. For a lot of people, Undertale is still their favorite game. Very emotional game.
Yeah,
very emotional.
No, it's a great game.
Only game in existence to make me cry.
Yeah, it is one of the most emotional, maybe one of the most emotional video games of all time, if we're being honest. And I know you might be like, oh, how do you get that out of sprites? I'm like, just play the game.
Yep.
If you play the game,
you'll understand.
Invest your time into the world and characters and wear headphones, you'll have a good emotional time.
Or a bad one.
Yeah.
You know?
Or a bad one.
Yes.
But bad in an almost enjoyable way.
Yeah.
Not like you feel good, but like you're feeling emotions that you're feeling a way the game's impacting you. I don't want to like spoil it for people who've never played it, but you'll see if you pick it up. It's just it's
a great game.
It's a great game. Lots of interesting choices.
Do not seek out spoilers.
Yeah. Multiple endings. Blah blah blah. So like, I guess I'm gonna buy more games from this direct than from the mini, but at least the mini had a for sure fire brand new game. Whereas here we have to even question if Smash is new. People are pumped. People are excited. They should be. But I can tell you right now, it's weird that a new game was announced for Switch, and I have to question if it's a port.
No.
Yeah.
I mean
coming from
some people might say, oh, that's your problem. No, because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was a port.
Yeah. It could be a Super Smash Brothers Deluxe.
And they're literally calling Nintendo Switch Super Smash Brothers is the tentative title right now.
Yeah.
Remember when it was Wii U Super Smash Brothers tentative title and then it ended up being Smash Brothers for Wii U?
Very creative, guys.
I'm using Wii U Inklings. Like, all the signs are there to be like, this is... This is a port. Again, I can't prove it yet. We probably won't know for sure till E3. E3, there'll probably be game. If it's coming out this year, it's got to be gameplay at E3. Got to be able to play it. We'll know that. We'll know. We'll have all that information that we need. I'll hold that back up.
But even if this is all ports and remasters, like you said, I mean, I'm going to buy more games from this direct than the mini direct.
Sure.
And coming from someone who hasn't bought a new game for their Switch in months and is looking for something to play and can't find it. It is my fault because I have selective taste, but still.
It's very selective, apparently.
I can't find a new AAA game that I can play on my Switch. That's a problem. But even I am excited for these ports, remasters, and DLC packs.
Well, okay, so let's take a step back because I obviously have my strong opinions here, and I'm not trying to trash the game. Like, all these games, I want them on Switch. I want every game on Switch. I just wish they at least gave us something that was a guaranteed new title. As an example, would it have killed them to show off Fire Emblem, which is supposed to come this year? You can argue...
Yeah, but still... Well, that has been announced, though. I mean, we haven't seen anything.
Yeah, it's been announced, but at least we would have got gameplay of something that we really know absolutely nothing about. Unlike all the other games that we got gameplay for, that we know a ton about already. So I really just, I don't know. I feel like they needed at least one more title. And again, the fact they did this, to me, puts my expectations on E3
to the roof.
Probably at a very unrealistic level. Because Nintendo has really dropped the ball the first 6 months of this year in terms of new games. It's port city. The reputation that Switch is nothing but a port machine was only solidified by this direction.
Oh, yeah.
Not, like, fought back against. And I am fine with the ports, but you have to have the new games too. But for now, outside of Aces, we're coasting on ports for 6 months in terms of major releases. I know someone's going to point out, I think I'm forgetting another major game. Kirby, I suppose, is probably the other one. But yeah, let's just go game by game in the direct. Let's just start by 3DS. What are you guys thinking about WarioWare Gold, the biggest collection in the series?
If it was on Switch, yes.
There we go. That's
Here's the thing with 3DS. It's like when I picture Nintendo putting out new games on 3DS in 2018, I picture Nintendo trying to jolt the 3DS to life. It's dying on its last breath, just trying to jolt it back to life, squeeze out every inch of life.
Well, here's the thing.
That's not the case.
No, 3DS
the
is
install
booming.
base is huge, and it's selling games still.
The 3DS
so
just
I can
came
see
off one
why
of its best
Nintendo
sales years
is
ever.
still supporting it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The 3DS just had one of its best years of sales ever, and it's like, how?
Exactly.
Nintendo literally gave it Pokemon and nothing else. That really, really was a significant title, and it's just blowing. I mean, Metroid I'm sure again another port.
Yeah,
it's great. It's a
still sells.
remaster.
I see kids with it all the time.
Yeah. WarioWare. This WarioWare game is going to move gangbusters, even though it's just a collection of WarioWare stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks fun.
It does. Well, it's WarioWare.
Yeah.
If you ever played a WarioWare game, they're hilarious. They're fun. They're a good time.
And I've never played a WarioWare game.
Kooky party
for
fun.
me, this is something that I would want to pick up because, it's a collection of WarioWare games. That's a great introduction to WarioWare. But it's on 3DS, a console that I don't really want to play because the graphics look sucky compared to this brand new Nintendo console I bought last year.
I think that is something to consider because Switch is portable. It has put our expectation for portable visuals at a level that 3DS can't attain and makes 3DS look like a toy. And because of that, like in general, for any 3DS, like Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers, that was a brand new game announced. Dylan's back, awesome. Like I think it might be the only for sure brand new game announced. Looks fantastic. Why isn't it on Switch?
Well,
because here's the deal: some games, like the Shishido game or whatever, Sushi something, that game is on 3DS and Wii U. So why can't I'm of mine? All these 3DS games should be 3DS. I'm sorry, 3DS and Wii U, 3DS and Switch. All of them. I don't see any reason as a consumer they shouldn't be. Then the 3DS people get their games. You think they care about exclusive? These aren't even exclusive. They're ports. So give Switch people. You're just going to double your sales, triple your sales. You'll get the 3DS crowd that hasn't gotten Switch yet that wants to pick up these games. And maybe they end up being cheaper on 3DS.
And maybe they end up buying them again once
lower visual fidelity, so maybe they knock $10 off the price on 3DS. And so it's a little bit more expensive on Switch, but you're getting them in HD. So people are going to view that as worthwhile for the HD effect.
Well, and then you might get them again when they actually do end up getting a Switch.
Well, think about, Darrin, you're excited for, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. Wouldn't you be more excited if it was on Switch?
Yeah, because that's basically the only Mario and Luigi game that I've played that I like.
But wouldn't you be more excited if it was on Switch?
Oh, for sure.
That's kind of my point here. In 2018, I don't think these kind of games. These are, you can call them, these are the lazy games, right? These are the ports, the remasters. Luigi's Mansion being brought over here. Why the hell isn't it brought over to Switch? Luigi's Mansion was a console game.
Yeah. My biggest thing with Luigi's Mansion is what I would have loved to seen was bring them both to Switch and then announce a new one.
I wanted them to announce the Luigi's Mansion 3. If there is one being made, I don't know that it's ready because Dark Moon isn't that old, the second one. It's old enough where there could be a new one, but I don't know when whoever they would have chose to make it, whether it's Next Level Games or someone else, how long they've had the Switch to work with, per se. And if it is next level games, potentially making a Luigi's Mansion 3, which I don't think they are. I think they said they're working on something else. But if they are, they've never made HD games, so they could see how it might take them a little longer. But
Yeah.
like Mario and Luigi, Bowser Inside Story, you're excited for it just because it's a game you like, and that's great. But I'm also of mind that it's just like Hyrule Warriors for me. Yeah, it's a game I like, but I owned it, I played it. Why do I need to buy it again? I could just go play it. I already have
New
it.
content. There's like a new
there's
story.
a new story added. I understand that, but I guess maybe that's a bad example because it does have that new story part. Story to me, if they added new story to Hyrule Warriors, they probably got me. But they didn't.
So, if it's saying a new story in Hyrule Warriors, I mean, story in Hyrule Warriors, really?
I love that story mode, man.
Yeah,
it was alright. That story's great. How many times have we had a story based around someone fawning over Link? That's awesome.
True.
And then that person splits in two to the good and evil, and they both like Link, and they both want Link. And it's this is awesome. Then you have Zelda. What the hell's going on?
Whoa.
But it wasn't canon, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if it's canon.
It could have been canon. There's literally no reason why it could.
It doesn't matter if it's canon or not. It's just fun. It's a game that exists that's officially licensed by Nintendo.
It is fun. I don't play it for the story, though. I play it to beat up thousands upon thousands of Bokoblins.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
The gameplay to me is the worst part of the game. So
with amazing Zelda butt rock playing in the background.
Oh, jeez. Some people do. There are people that really love the soundtrack.
Yes.
I love it. I adore it.
So I guess the next 3DS game to talk about is what? Detective Pikachu? You guys got any thoughts on that?
I actually kind of thought it looked fun.
I like Pikachu, quick attack.
Yeah, right. Did it work? did I do it? It looked funny.
It's very different.
It looked awesome.
I mean, it is not. I wouldn't call it a Pokemon game. But
obviously.
Game.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do with that game.
What?
I'm not going to buy it, and I'm going to watch the Game Grumps play it.
Yes. Perfect.
That's what's going to happen. It's not a game I'm going to play. It's a game I'm going to watch.
I bet you it's entertaining as hell.
Oh, I bet you it is too.
Pikachu looks like he's got a lot of good lines.
Speaking of, did you see the one meme out there that it's got Pikachu with his mouth open and just kind of this just looks weird, and then somebody adds teeth to it and nope, definitely not. It's definitely worse.
We briefly touched on Luigi's Mansion. Did either one of you guys like Luigi's Mansion?
Oh, I love
Remember,
Luigi's
launch
Mansion.
game for GameCube.
Yeah.
Was what this was.
All right. I've never played Luigi's Mansion. I think I played Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon or whatever the heck it's called.
Yeah, that's
I played Dark
kiosk
Moon.
in Walmart one day.
But actually, I own Dark Moon.
I have seen gameplay and whatnot, and it really doesn't interest me. Kind of looks boring. I know probably 1,000 people are shouting at me, give it a chance. Just play it for yourself. But I really... If it was on Switch, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you like Ghostbusters?
It's a remake for 3DS, which I don't care about. Yes, I did like Ghostbusters.
Okay, that's what this is. It's Ghostbusters with Luigi.
in a slow, clunky-looking form.
It's not slow, though. Once you get into it, it's really not slow.
Yeah.
It is the one game, especially the OG, that does not show well in trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't show you the best parts because it's all spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, again, if it was on 3DS and the visuals were crisp and it looked clean.
As an example, there's a lot of people that like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. It is a very good game.
Yeah.
But when you play the original Luigi's Mansion, you're going to realize how much better Dark Moon should have been.
Yeah.
I'll just give you the biggest issue in Dark Moon is variety.
I'll give you that one. Yeah, I'll give you that
Ghost variety is non-existent. You're basically in every room capturing the exact same looking ghost.
Yeah.
Besides boss fights, obviously.
Yeah.
But Luigi's Mansion, there's so many different types. And you got to do different things to catch them. And it was, to me, not a revolutionary game, but it was the game to me that put Luigi on the map. It made him matter. I know he's been in Mario games and stuff, but this was all his own, and they nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it was on one of their worst selling systems of all time. So a lot of people didn't get to play it. So I'm
Okay, that's great. Put it on Switch.
Well, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
We
yeah.
already talked about this. We agree. Every 3DS game, it's okay if it's on 3DS, but it also should be on Switch.
Right.
We all know this.
Right.
Nintendo's not doing it because they think that the games need to be exclusive to 3DS to continue to push 3DS sales. They are not going to stop releasing games like this on 3DS until the 3DS stops selling. They just got away with a whole year of doing crap like this, releasing remasters and remakes and old games on 3DS, and it just kept selling.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm saying right now, like, oh, they should put Luigi's Mansion Remake on Switch. And I'm not mad, but I'm just like, frustrated. But if they took one of my favorite franchises of all time, they took the original Animal Crossing game and remastered it for 3DS, I would be livid. I'd be livid. Why is that not on Switch? So
Because they're making a new one for Switch. That's what we hope.
Yeah, right?
That's what we hope, anyways.
yeah, but why not put that on Switch and the new one?
I have no idea.
Exactly. Then that would make me extremely pissed off.
But see, here's the thing. I look at it like this. I can't be mad that Luigi's Mansion's on 3DS because the alternative probably is it just doesn't exist at all.
Right.
So I'm not going to pick it up on 3DS. I don't even technically own my own 3DS right now. There is 3DSs in my house. I can play 3DS games if I want. I just got rid of all my 3DSs because I can't financially support... I can support multiple platforms, but I can't... I don't feel like it's worth investing in my 3DS when I know I'm going to turn that Luigi's Mansion on. I'm going to play it for an hour. I'm going to be like, yep, this is the game I remember. And then I'm going to put it down and never touch it again.
Yep.
Because it's not on Switch. And I want it in HD. The upgrades, the visual upgrades I saw in that trailer for it, to me, personally, don't look a whole lot different from the GameCube. And because of that, it's like I'm not really getting a visually upgraded game. I'm just getting it portably. And if I'm going to get it portably, bring that bad boy in HD. This was a home console game. Bring it to me in HD. Now, they're releasing it on there for people who play Dark Moon, who maybe never played the original, so they want to go see what it is. I understand the logic behind putting it on 3DS, but I don't know. I'm ready for the 3DS to die. We've been ready for a long time, but it's not... Here's the thing. If I'm Nintendo, I keep doing this.
Oh, right. Why wouldn't you?
And 3DS is a money train at this point. They're just milking it for what's left. We know there's not going to be any more mainline Pokemon games coming to it, which is pretty much the death knell for the system. But it keeps selling anyways. So we'll see. Maybe this is just what... I mean, if this is all they're going to do moving forward, is releasing like collection packs, and Detective Pikachu is new, but nothing like major hitting games. I guess I'm okay with it. They're just trickling it along. I just hope that eventually some of these 3DS games make it to Switch. Again,
get ported again.
Get gas for more ports. I realize what I'm doing right now. But I'm talking about like late in the Switch's life cycle, when maybe they don't have as many new games coming. Now, granted, they don't have a lot coming right now, but or maybe they do, and it's all second half of the year. So I guess we get into the exciting stuff, the stuff that most of you guys care about, the Switch games. Most of our audience loves Switch. Some of you guys love 3DS as well, but everyone I talked to has always played Switch. Kirby Star Allies. Tell me, Darrin, what about it made you have the reaction you did?
One word. Kirby.
You don't like Kirby, huh?
Kirby's Epic Yarn was alright, but
most people don't consider that a real Kirby game.
I really have no interest in any other Kirby games whatsoever.
Have you ever played any
character?
Have you ever played?
Not care for.
Have you ever played anything but Epic Yarn? Because Epic Yarn does not. It's a Kirby game, but it's more so like a Yarn franchise game because it's nothing like normal Kirby.
Yeah, I have played other Kirby games. I can't remember
any of the Return to Dreamland ones. Those are usually the ones that people get hooked on.
No idea. Yeah, played it at a friend's house and said, "Well, this is all right." And I've seen videos. I've watched the Game Grumps play different Kirby games, different YouTubers, and I'm just not interested at all. I mean, the gameplay looks all right. I mean, for Kirby fans, it's great that you're getting a new Kirby game in year 2 of Switch, but it's just not doing it for me. Yeah,
well, Kirby, I mean, for starters, Kirby games don't sell a ton. It's a smaller fan base. It's about the same size as Metroid fan base, if we're being honest. I know some people are going to be mad about that comment, but I'm sorry. Go look at the sales of Metroid games. Sorry, they don't really sell that well. It's actually surprising they've kept that franchise around, especially when F-Zero was outselling it. But yeah, we haven't seen F-Zero games in forever. Eric's just he's all pissed. F-Zero, I'll bring it back. Snowboard Kids. Did that all sell it?
Yes.
Let's bring that back.
Yes, we need to bring that back.
So here's the thing about Kirby Star Allies. Kirby games in general, they don't provide challenge in terms of, like, they're not difficult games. Getting through the stage isn't difficult. Yes, we can argue about if getting all the collectibles is difficult, like we can in certain Mario games that might not be challenging, but then you go for collectibles.
I really don't even care about challenge. It could be the easiest game or the hardest game.
But
in
yeah,
the world.
well, yeah, because you said you kind of sort of thought Epic Yarn was okay. Epic Yarn's really easy. You can't even die in that game. So like it doesn't get any easier than a game you don't die in. I shouldn't say that because I guess it can be a puzzle game that you don't die in, but you can just be stuck forever because you can't figure out the puzzle. But Kirby games are always, they're super simple, super easy, all about creating your own power-ups in your own unique ways, sucking guys in, shooting them, being that pink little fluff ball flying around the screen, and just fun. It's just about fun. And what I will say is it's okay if this game doesn't appeal to you. I'm not going to ask you to play the demo because I assume the answer is no.
Yeah.
I haven't. I've been meaning to. Just
to see what happens.
Just to see if maybe
like here's what I'll say about the demo.
Like it.
The demo's fun, but the problem is it just it's not a problem. It's a demo. I don't know what I expect. It just ends and you're like, I wanted more, and you stopped.
Yeah.
And that's
Isn't
almost a good
demo?
feeling because you want more, right? But like you wanted more in the demo because you're like, I only played for 5 minutes. I wanted to play for 10. But again, it's a demo. How much? I mean, I can't sit there and be like, just keep give me all the beginning stages. Like, you can't, they can't. Do
I mean, the Octopath Traveler demo you can play forever. I mean, there's basically like 2 mini campaigns in there.
Yeah, but what you play through in it, from what we've been told, is like the ultra super intro section for the characters. And just because the intro sections are like 4 hours for each character. It's an open world RPG game.
Lord.
So like,
Eric is just loading.
It's an open world RPG.
Yeah.
So like, it sounds like a lot, but in comparison to how long it's going to take.
Oh, no. Yeah.
It's nothing. So like, in comparison to how long, like we spent 5 minutes on the demo. In comparison to how long it's going to take to beat Kirby, it's probably a game that's beaten in under 4 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not 100% it, but like, beat the whole story mode in 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's just the way Kirby games are. Which is why it doesn't cost $60, it costs $50 instead. Probably should be $40, but
Probably
whatever.
should be like $30, but yeah.
It is what it is. It's Kirby.
Yeah.
So I am excited for the game. In so much that I really enjoyed the demo. The fact that I entered the demo still wanting to play more makes me realize, like I entered the. It's not even a spoiler because you guys can go play this on for free. You fight the dang wispy wind tree again. I swear you fight that thing in every game.
Yeah.
And you fight King DDD in the second part of the demo. And I really enjoyed that King DDD fight. That was fun. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, what the thing is, that was the quote-unquote hard level. It really wasn't that hard. No. But it was definitely more difficult than the first stage. But whether or not you'll notice the difficulty, I mean, you'll notice it in the boss fight. The boss fight's harder. Yeah. But that boss fight had so much fun. I'm like, I want to keep playing, and there's no more. And like, it's okay, I get it. But because I had that feeling of wanting more, I was like, okay, I do want this game. I don't know if I want it at 60 or 50 it is. Yeah. But I want it. And I've told myself, if I have the money when it releases on the 16th, I will probably pick it up because I'm going to enjoy it. I'm sure our fans are going to want to see me play it. I know it's a game. It also helps that I know it's a game that I don't have to invest hundreds of hours into being.
Right.
I spend a good 5-10 hours, I'm done. And I'm okay with that. I think based on, like, I look at the games I have on my Switch, like 160 plus hours in NBA 2K18, basically a game that never really ends. It ends when you don't want to play it anymore. Right. You got Splatoon 2, a game that never ends, like a 75 plus hours, probably 80 plus at this point. Mario Odyssey with its 999 moons and all this crazy stuff, like I'm 90 plus hours into that. Breath of the Wild seemingly never ends. I'm 155 plus hours in that. And some of you guys say that's pathetic for how much I love Zelda. Some of you guys have like 1,000 plus hours in it at this point. I mean, reality is that a lot of these games that I have, even Golf Story, 30 plus hours right now. I have all these games on Switch that require heavy, like Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I'm 15 hours in and I barely scratched the surface. And like all these games that require heavy time investments. And Octopath Traveler is another game I'm excited for. Heavy time investment. Probably spent more time in that damn demo than I have some of the games I have. And it's like,
I'm still playing Skyrim on Switch.
Yeah, Skyrim. And that's
heavy time investment.
So like, it's good. I like getting a game like Kirby at a time of this when I have so many games that with huge time investments in, because I know, look, this is just fun, pure unadulterated fun. I'm gonna feel the satisfaction of beating the game, and I don't have to spend my entire summer this year to beat it.
Yeah.
You know what? If Kirby Star Allies was like $40,
yeah,
I'd probably pick it up. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna play this, beat it in like 5 hours, maybe, get one of my family members involved.
Sure.
It's got fantastic music.
Just say, yeah, I played Kirby Star Allies and beat it. What about it? I played it.
Yeah. So that's kind of my feelings on that. Obviously, you guys out in the audience let us know how what your thoughts are on Kirby Star Allies. Are you picking it up? Do you think it's great? Obviously, we have Darrin who just doesn't like Kirby. And do you like Kirby? Do you dislike Kirby? What are your reasons why? Are you cool with like a shorter game like this being $50? Are you cool with easy games that you just play through and just have fun and smile? Or maybe the fun for you is a challenge and you're looking more forward to things like Dark Souls or whatever the case may be. Any other difficult games that are out there?
I'll tell you one last thing. One last thing about Kirby is a drawback for me is that I've played maybe like 3 Mega Man games and I've only beaten one, Mega Man X. I've played like 2 Sonic games and I haven't even beat a Sonic game. But I love those characters to death. Sonic and Mega Man, they're awesome. All right. Kirby, same thing. I've played, a couple games, haven't really beat one. But Kirby as a character is not appealing at all.
Well, it's a cutesy character. You gotta be in the cutesy thing.
I mean, you can have a cutesy character.
Mega Man's a badass.
Yeah, but you can have a cutesy character and make that character, something that as a brand or a franchise is appealing.
Name a cutesy character you enjoy.
Astro Boy.
Okay.
I mean, he's kind of cute.
I mean, sure. Okay, let me rephrase that. A AAA franchise cutesy player.
Mario.
I don't know that I call Mario cute.
Peach.
Hey, Baby Mario.
Peach.
Baby Mario.
Oh, Baby Mario.
Baby Mario. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, God.
Yoshi.
Right. You know what? We'll leave it alone.
Yoshi. Okay, there we go. There's your
Yoshi came
answer.
from Mario. Okay.
Yes.
Anything not related to Mario.
Everything in Mario except for Mario.
All right. Well, I'll let you out the hook. It's totally cool not to like Kirby. I love him. One of my favorite characters in Nintendo's franchises. Love him in Smash. God, he's so awesome in Smash. Get that down B going, guys.
Villager. There you go.
I get. Would you guys call Villager cute out there?
Of course you would.
I don't know.
Not in Smash Bros. Because he looks menacing, but in every other game.
But ever since Smash Bros., when I look at him in other games, he now just looks menacing. You just never looked at him in that light until Smash Bros. Happened.
You go back and play the game, he's like, oh, when
it's just like,
he just gets so angry.
It's just like Luigi. Every time I look at him since the Luigi death there, dude, if you actually just pay attention to his eyes and everything, dude, he's straight savage.
Oh, yeah.
Luigi's probably always been this way, and no one's noticed how savage Luigi is. Like, the glares he gives people. Oh, can you blame him? How much did he... Go play the Mario and Luigi games and watch him get insulted over and over and over again. Like, everyone's like, oh, yeah, the other Mario brother.
Yeah, right.
Who invited you? Yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm about to save your ass.
Yeah, right.
Bubsy.
So, the next game was Okami HD. Either one of you play Okami?
Nope.
Okay. So
it doesn't look like my kind of game either, but I'm actually really happy because there was a huge uproar when Capcom didn't port it to Switch when it was going to Xbox and PS4 and everyone freaked out. So I'm happy for those people.
Here's the thing, Darrin. Here's what's hilarious about your statement. You love Zelda games, right? Okami is a Zelda game. It literally is a Zelda game. Played the whole time.
I don't know. I was kind of hoping we could talk about this on a later podcast, but my opinions on past Zelda games have changed in the past couple of years. My enjoyment levels.
Is it just the past year because of Breath of the Wild? Or is it before? Your feelings predate?
It was pre Breath of the Wild, but I feel like Breath of the Wild.
We gotta stop this. Hold on. We're having a Zelda conversation right now. I have you here right now. Stop. We'll come back to the direct.
Oh no, man! I need to like write down my
No.
talking points and
No.
okay.
So Darrin, so guys, for you to understand why we're stopping this right now, Darrin and I we both came from Zelda Informer. I've been running Zelda since like I was 12. I was editor-in-chief. He took over as editor-in-chief. Our background, even Eric, all our background with anything to do with this online stuff, talking about Nintendo, is Zelda. Zelda. And like, you won't find probably bigger Zelda fans in the world besides me. But apparently Darren's fallen off. I said besides me on purpose.
Zelda is still,
but like Zelda might still be.
franchise.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying that you hate Zelda and something. What I'm saying is, I viewed you as like the upper echelon of like Zelda is the greatest thing ever alive, and like up there with me. I thought you were one of the fanboys, basically.
One of
I'm admittedly,
us.
if I'm a fanboy for anything, it's Zelda. But what happened?
All right.
What's changed?
Well, I've always had a problem getting through Zelda games. That means a lot of people do, but it has a lot to do with the dungeons. I've kind of figured it out. I hate dungeons. Absolutely hate them. So tedious, so overwhelming. It's not even the difficulty that much. I mean, I'm not a fan of puzzle games in general, but I can still get through them, but it just takes me forever. And even if it is, a short dungeon, it's just so tedious. That's why Breath of the Wild shrines, amazing. Even if they were really hard shrines, they took like 15 minutes tops. They were great.
I hate you. There were some shrines that took me like an hour because I couldn't figure out the puzzle.
Yeah.
I eventually got it.
I'm not even talking about Water Temple Soft or, famous Zelda dungeons that are awful. I'm just talking about your average dungeon, like the Forest Temple, I believe it's called. I can't even remember it, in Ocarina of Time.
Yep, that was one of them.
Going through that was so tedious. Backtracking places, getting keys, getting this, flipping this lever, shooting this switch. It's tedious. And when I look at Zelda, that's basically 75% of the gameplay. Basically 75% of the gameplay is dungeons. And if I don't like dungeons, I dislike 75% of Ocarina of Time's gameplay, Majora's Mask's gameplay, Skyward Sword's gameplay. Whereas Breath of the Wild, its dungeons are a small portion of that game, depending on how you play.
Okay, it's interesting.
Especially the way I play.
Yeah, you said depending on how you play. It's interesting that you lump Majora's Mask in there, because depending on how you play, the dungeons are the least played thing in the game.
Yeah, I can spend a lot of time in the world in the side quest. So it depends on the game. Yeah. It really depends on the game. But I mean,
you just hate dungeons.
I just hate dungeons.
I think you hate tedium.
In Breath of the Wild, I mean, I'm going to say this right now. I used a guide to get through the Divine Beasts. Did I have to? No, but I'm like, these are cool. I really like the atmosphere, but I do not want to just figure out how to get through this.
Those dungeons are so easy. They're like the easiest ones in the game. They're the easiest ones in the Zelda series besides, I think, the Great Deku Tree.
They are. They're the easiest ones, but I really didn't care. I really didn't want to put my brain power into this. I just wanted to get through it so I could fight the boss and get back out into the world and start doing things that I like again.
So, okay. All right. I get it. I mean, I can't make you like dungeons, obviously.
But you're wrong.
No.
I'm kidding.
I play Zelda for exploration, right? That's a big thing for me. That's why I like my favorite Zelda games are Zelda 1, Zelda 2. And people will say, Ocarina of Time. I'm like, no, Breath of the Wild. And then after that, it gets a little muddled. Only Between Worlds is up there. Link's Awakening is up there because of the world. Majora's Mask is up there because I endeared myself to the world and the characters. Other reasons that I like the games, because none of the other games, basically, there's 3 games I consider truly to be open world. That being Zelda 1, Zelda 2, and Breath of the Wild. Now, some people are going to say blasphemy. What about A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, which is built on the same concept? I understand that those are open world as well from the top-down perspective. It's just after you have been there, done that, and then also end up playing Breath of the Wild, it just seems so minuscule in comparison. It just doesn't do it for me anymore like it used to. Breath of the Wild made A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, the aspects of open world for them not matter anymore to me. Because the Great Plateau is bigger than both of those games put together. I mean, it's just the reality. So, I should say it's just reality because it probably, like, if someone's going to do the math on it, it's probably bigger than the Great Plateau. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't feel bigger than the Great Plateau. So, I'm not going to say, like, you need to like Zelda Dungeons. It's just really weird. Tell me what about Breath of the Wild makes you enjoy it as much as you do?
Well, number one, exploration. I just loved going through, and I mean, my greatest enjoyment. One of my greatest enjoyment out of that game was going around to the towers and activating the towers and exploring the paths to get to them and looking around and seeing everything else I could explore, and marking beacons where other towers were,
Mm-hmm.
and places to explore, caves, camps, what have you, towns.
Sure.
So exploration, definitely. Combat, loved the combat. I mean, taking down Lionels is one of my favorite post-game pastimes. Just going in there, even with your OP 180 hours into the game gear, still can be a challenge depending on how often you do it.
Sure.
Especially with the new Golden Lionels.
Yep.
But so combat, exploration, and number three, which is something I actually adore about every Zelda game, is atmosphere. The atmosphere being the visuals, the music, which I think is the best, very, very unpopular opinion here, best music out of any Zelda game. Just because I like the simplistic style. It draws from Animal Crossing, which is another franchise I like, adore the music in that game. But the fact that I play old Zelda games like Ocarina of Time and remember them fondly, even though I played them suffering through the dungeons that I hated, that's something to say about the atmosphere of Zelda games. Not just Breath of the Wild, which has an amazing atmosphere for a game, but it's the atmosphere that keeps me coming back in the exploration. Because, I look back and I say, oh man, I remember when I played Ocarina of Time or Skyward Sword, and I just love the atmosphere and the music, and it was also great, and exploring all the different areas and seeing what themes they have and all that.
Then I got to the dungeons, and I'm like...
And then I get to the dungeons, and I'm like, well, this dungeon theme is kind of cool, but now I got to spend a half hour of my life stressed out trying to pull my hair out because I just want to get to the end of this dungeon so I can fight the boss, because that's fun. And then getting back out into the world to hear what I have to do next and meet new characters and just explore a new, town. And with Breath of the Wild, that was basically all of what I liked about Zelda, but expounded on 1,000%. Exploring is a huge chunk of that game. There are more NPCs in that game than... any other Zelda game. I believe.
It felt like a living, breathing, realistic world.
Mm-hmm. Felt like a living, breathing, realistic world. Better atmosphere than any Zelda game. Any game I've ever played. Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time. And if a new Zelda comes out that's basically just like Ocarina of Time, has traditional dungeons, traditional Zelda this, traditional Zelda that, you better believe I'm going to buy that and I'm going to play the crap out of it. But I'm not going to like the dungeons.
Oh, jeez. Man. Huh? Hater.
I'll tell you what, though. A Link Between Worlds. I did like some of the dungeons in A Link Between Worlds, but they were really easy. And, so I could get through those pretty quickly. But, I don't know.
Oh,
dungeons, man.
Oh, man. You just broke so many Zelda fans' hearts.
I know. I'm being screamed at right
Breath
now.
of the Wild is that the dungeons suck.
Yep. And now, congratulations, you just lost Nate a couple hundred subs.
It's okay. It's fine. Like, I understand your feelings, because I feel a lot of the same way, except I actually like the dungeons because when the dungeons are done well, and I'm not saying every dungeon is done well, but when they're done well, they are also very encouraging of exploration. Now, you are limited in your exploration. Maybe you're limited to a room as you're solving a puzzle. Maybe you're limited to a certain area. Obviously, you can't like get a giant vision of the whole world. You can go look at like in Breath of the Wild. But when done well, I feel like there's a lot of very good exploration in the dungeons. Now, obviously, an issue for you is the tedium of, especially like the classic Zelda, step on a switch, shoot the eye, push the block, light the arrow, or light the torch, I guess. Like these are all classic elements that basically exist in every Zelda dungeon ever. It even happens in Breath of the Wild for certain parts of it. And I think it just sounds tedious. And I admit, I feel that tedium at times. Because I'm not going to say I've never played a Zelda dungeon and not been bored. I've been bored. But I don't know. I guess I just don't... I can't see the way that you see it just because... Like, when you started talking about, about the hitting the switches and hitting the eyes and doing this and, like, all this tedious of backtracking, I kept thinking Buddy Loves Hyrule Warriors, which is nothing but tedium.
But that's the thing, it's not tedium for me, Hyrule Warriors, because it's basically constant action.
But
it's
the same
basically
action.
Just mow down these enemies. Oh, your teammate's in trouble. Go mow down those enemies.
But
capture this keep. Capture this keep.
That's Hyrule Warriors, the game. Repeat 300 hours,
which I'm a sucker for.
Well, that's why it was really weird. You're complaining about this tedious stuff, and I'm like, but he loves the most tedious Zelda game ever made.
Exactly, that's a common complaint people have about Hyrule Warriors. Oh, it's so tedious.
Well, that's what Warrior games are.
For me, it's not.
Yeah.
Warrior games are tedious. That's just what they are. That's like that. The thing is like the fact that you love it brings out the appeal of the Warriors franchise. Why it has lasted as long as it has is there are people that just like that tedium because the actual act of doing the tedium is just so enjoyable to them that they can hack and slash their way to victory over and over and over again because they just like the feeling of hacking and slashing.
Mm-hmm. And the only person who I know, the only other Zelda fan I met who shares the sort of same opinion that I do is some old Zelda Informer commenter. I forget. Apologize because I should remember his name. It was the one with the Goron avatar and he was like Goro something.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And I can't remember his name and it's killing me.
Monkey Goro.
Yeah, Monkey Goro. Okay.
I got you. If he's listening. Monkey Goro, if you still follow us here at Nintendo Prime, I got your back, bro. I'll never forget.
Yeah.
I'll never forget.
I don't know if he still listens to Zelda Dungeon stuff. I don't know if he follows Nintendo Prime, but he was cool. And he said basically dungeons in Zelda are like going to work. But dicking around in the overworld and exploring and side quests and stuff like that is basically just going out having fun, doing whatever you want.
But what if you enjoy your work?
Well, then I guess you are.
Like I do here at Nintendo Prime.
Then you're 99% of Zelda fans who enjoy dungeons.
Well, I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, I'm literally working right now.
Yeah,
this is my job.
Right.
And you like Zelda Dungeons, don't you?
Yeah, I like Zelda Dungeons, but I don't like them to the extent that a lot of other fans do. As I said, when they are done well, I don't think Zelda Dungeons are generally done well 90% of the time. So there's very select dungeons that I actually enjoy.
I'll tell you which dungeons that I did enjoy. They were tedious, and I hated them. But I did enjoy the atmosphere in Skyward Sword's dungeons. They were very atmospheric.
Yes, those are very atmospheric. Very different.
Which I appreciated. It made me feel a little bit better when I was pulling my hair out trying to get through them.
As you enjoyed the linear gameplay with linear story. Stuck going in one direction constantly.
Yeah.
No exploration, really, to speak of, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a big problem with that game. But still, the atmosphere. I look back on Skyward Sword and remember it fondly because of the atmosphere.
I remember Skyward Sword fondly because, even to this day, best combat in the series. Not most difficult, not most challenging, not, I love Breath of the Wild's combat. I love the combat in Zelda 2, a few other games. But man, those motion controls felt so good to me.
And you, my friend, that's where you were in the minority.
Those motion controls. I so wish that if Breath of the Wild had those controls, I would just it would be the perfect game. The perfect game. Unfortunately, Breath of the Wild is not perfect because it does not have my motion controls. Even though Switch supports it, even though Wii U supports it. Damn it! Why do so many people have the motion controls? Anyways,
yeah.
Even now, kind of flipping this back to the Direct, Mario Tennis Aces announced motion controls, which made a lot of sense because people remember that from playing tennis on Wii and everything.
Right. It's a tennis game.
But I thought what was really interesting about the announcement of the motion controls for Mario Tennis Aces is they specifically said if you would like to play casually, motion controls are here for you.
Yeah.
Meaning that if you actually want to be good at the game, don't use motion controls. That's basically what they said.
Because, Nate, if you and I play against each other and you're playing motion controls and I'm playing standard controls, I'll kick your ass.
Not if we're playing Splatoon, though. If you use motion controls in Splatoon, you are the superior player.
Yeah,
then again, there is a difference
Splatoon,
between gyro aiming and swinging a full club and using like an item with motion controls. There is a massive difference between gyro aiming and like actually having to physically swing your arm or flick your wrist to do a motion. I understand that, but it was one of those things that I just found it hilarious that they're adding the motion controls in, but they're literally saying this is just for you to like sit down with your kids and play matches against each other. If you actually want to be serious, like we have this big online tournament coming up for it. If you want to be serious, like don't use the motion controls because you're going to get wrecked.
Yeah, I mean shooters are an exception because I prefer those with a mouse, and mouse versus thumbstick motion controls are more closer to mouse controls than thumbstick controls. Motion
controls are like that in between.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
not quite as good as the mouse, but way the hell closer to it than twin sticks are. Some people would even argue if you want to get really elitist about it, thumb trackballs are actually the best. Like the best players in the world use thumb trackballs, but those are so hard to get used to when you're used to a normal mouse. Oh. The thing is, they existed when I was younger too, and I just never use it. I remember having a mouse when I'm like, this is weird.
This is weird. Yeah.
I need my old actual ball mouse back, please. Yeah. But before the laser mouses came into play. Okay, so yeah, Mario Tennis Aces. Since we're on that topic, what are you guys' thoughts on Mario Tennis Aces? Now that we know, we at least know how everything controls, and we know a bunch of characters in it.
I'm probably going to pick it up just because, full disclosure, I've never played a Mario Tennis game in my life. I played Wii Tennis, and it was great. But I'm definitely going to pick it up, play that single-player campaign, and see if I can get some people over, whether it's family or friends, to play multiplayer, because tennis and multiplayer on a game console equals major fun.
Yep.
But, the single player does intrigue me, so I'm definitely going to be picking that up.
Yeah, we still don't know.
Especially because I'm not going to be playing anything else on my Switch at the time.
My man.
So,
yeah. Just beating that into our heads, there is nothing for me to play. The Switch has nothing.
This is a great...
It's a port machine.
Great time to release...
Port machine. Port machine.
It is a port machine right now, and I love the... But, yeah. New games would be nice, but I'm not one of those people that's just, Switch is just a port machine right now, has no games whatsoever. If you haven't bought a Switch yet, there are plenty of games to play. And even if you have owned a Switch since day one, your tastes are probably a lot different than mine. You're probably playing all of these indie games, all of these obscure games, or what have you.
Or you're actually buying all the AAA games that release on the platform.
Yeah.
I buy a lot of them.
Obviously, if it sucks for you, it's the multiplayer you can't really do a lot of times. So
that's what does suck.
Like that kicks ARMS out of the door, that kicks Splatoon 2 out of the door. Even if you enjoy the single player in Doom, the multiplayer is fantastic, and that's out the door.
Yeah, and I played the single player in Doom, and I thought it was great, and I'm kind of sad.
It's really good.
I can't really play the multiplayer, and if I had good internet, you better believe that I'd hop on Splatoon 2.
Payday 2 just came out, another old port. Plays really, really well. It's a lot of fun. Again, multiplayer.
Yeah. And I played ARMS, the test punch, like I said, and I absolutely loved the gameplay, but I really can't play it.
I honestly think if you had good internet, ARMS feels like the game that Darrin might have ended up putting more hours into than anything else. If you could
probably.
Especially with how consistently it's been supported. Honestly, I think Splatoon 2 might have been another one of those games for you as well.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I love shooter. I love shooters today.
And it has single player. It's not like you can't play single player, but it's a little short. Once you're done with that, it's like, okay, now I want to do the actual really, really fun stuff. Now,
I wouldn't buy a shooter game for the single player campaign. I'm not Brandon Jones.
What's wrong with you?
What do you mean, what's wrong with me? Because everyone knows the multiplayer, what really counts in a shooter. The single player campaign is like, okay, but now I want to play multiplayer, and if you can't, then that sucks.
I can't believe you're saying that, Darrin.
Oh, no.
I can't believe you're saying that because you are in a completely different generation of people than I am.
Yeah.
When I grew up, all shooters, single-player campaigns, what it's all about. Multiplayer is just a bonus. Even in games like Age of Empires, multiplayer is just a bonus, baby. The single-player campaigns are what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when they started getting rid of single-player campaigns, it actually pissed me off. Because that is why I play the shooters. If I feel like hopping in a multiplayer match, I will.
Mm-hmm.
But like GoldenEye, fantastic multiplayer back in the N64.
Yeah.
Single player was amazing.
Yes, it was.
Absolutely amazing. Even in Splatoon 1, I'm going to reference Splatoon 1 specifically because I haven't actually beat the single player in Splatoon 2. Splatoon 1 single player, utterly fantastic. The final boss in Splatoon 1, insane. The bosses you fight along the way, insane. Everything's extremely clever. You find out about this post-apocalyptic world. All this stuff is going crazy. The story just bashing you with these waves of story. Like, what the hell is going on? When they advertised this game, it was, are you a kid or are you a squid? Go shoot people and collect paint and yeah. Like, sure, go turf war it up. That's what it's all advertised as. Then you get into the single player and you're like, this is amazing. Nintendo knows what single player games, because they're like one of the few companies that still make them. And even like as an example, I'll give you an example of a company that only seems to make single player shooter games. Bethesda. Mm-hmm. Wolfenstein: The New Colossus. That's a single player game. There's no multiplayer. Doom has some multiplayer, but the single player campaign is massive.
Yeah, but they're developed as single-player games first. You can't tell me that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is being developed as a single-player game first.
Not necessarily. Obviously, none of us know. I assume no, because obviously multiplayer is why it's blown up.
Right.
But even since Modern Warfare came out, there have been some Call of Duty games that have had very good single-player campaigns. Very good. I mean, they're hiring Hollywood actors for this stuff. They are heavily committed to single-player campaigns again. And if you play them, they are damn good. I'm not saying that's why you buy, but if you do, you won't be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, you might not buy a Call of Duty game for that. A lot of people don't buy a Call of Duty game for that, but if my dad bought Call of Duty, that's what he's buying it for, is a single-player. He doesn't play multiplayer. He don't give a crap about that. He bought Call of Duty World War II. All he's done is play the campaign. Mm-hmm. He doesn't care about playing against other players. He wants to go out there and hear the story about the Nazis and kill them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the thing. Like, and again, my dad comes from a different era, even a different era than me, and he kind of raised me in the whole like single player games are important. They matter. This experience you have with just yourself is important.
Hashtag save player one.
Well, the thing is, like multiplayer, it is blown up so big. Largely because of the advent of the internet, and then obviously social media. Mm-hmm. We're always trying to connect with people all the time. And inherently, I think a lot of gamers that only play multiplayer games don't know what it's like to turn off the internet and just be within themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, the majority of games that I've played are single-player games.
Well, you also don't have a choice.
Not by choice, but still, if I did have a choice, I would still keep on playing single-player games as much as I do now. But the game that I have sunk the most into is a multiplayer game, which is Team Fortress 2, over I don't even know how many hours into it on Steam. When I had not really good, but could still play multiplayer gaming, sometimes internet.
Yep. Mm-hmm. No, I totally hear you.
Way more than I've played any single-player game.
I totally hear you. I have played World of Warcraft more than I have played any game ever in my life. I don't think I'll ever play another game as much as I play World of Warcraft. I still play World of Warcraft. Don't play it as often like I used to play, many times a week. No, it's like once every other week. But I still play that game. I will never play another game as much. I literally look at my gameplay on there. It has years of my life spent playing that game, according to the hours played. So I will never play another game like that again. I'll never invest in an MMO. I say that, then there was a Zelda MMO, and I'm just like, God damn it.
Well,
Nintendo would screw that up somehow.
They just World of Warcraft.
Well, there goes the next 10 years of my life.
I loved Warcraft so much that I'm like, I gotta get World of Warcraft. And I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Because I tried like RuneScape and other MMOs by then, and EverQuest. It just really wasn't for me. I wasn't that good, but the polish and it was just so good out the gate. Anyways, so yeah, I get that. I understand the appeal of multiplayer games. Obviously, I played a lot of Age of Empires online back in the day. I played, some of my fondest gaming memories are even multiplayer, Mario Kart and GoldenEye and Smash and all this stuff. One of my top played games on Switch is Splatoon 2 for multiplayer. But then my next top played games are like Zelda and single player experience, Mario single player experience. Even though they have the Ouija thing now, it adds a little bit of flavor to it. Still play it by yourself. Just now you semi-interact with other people. And then they added, let me see, like even an NBA 2K18. I've played against the people online. I have spent a lot of time playing it between me and Eric, but I've also spent a lot of time just playing by myself. So that's like, it kind of brings up an interesting point because you look at like at this Mario Tennis Aces game. They are clearly pushing some multiplayer with it because they are introducing it to the world where everyone gets to try it first through a massive online tournament. They also said that like you can go make your own online tournaments, and you best damn believe here at Center Prime we're going to be making some Mario Tennis Aces tournaments, and I might even offer some prizes, whether eShop cards or something, because tournaments are my jam. And like this is what I missed in Mario Kart 8 is that you could do like this online thing, but it's not really a tournament, right? It's just you set a set amount of races, everyone does it, whoever's the top scorer is the top scorer. Whereas like a tournament, you're talking about like advancing rounds.
Yep.
And I know it's easier to do in one-on-one, but you can still do that in racing games. You can still have that happen in racing games. So I'm really excited about the tournament mode, just like I am for Smash Bros. As well. You guys know if they have Smash tournaments online, we'll be doing that as well. I'm going to lose. I know I'm going to lose. Hopefully they have a spectator mode.
It's all about the GameCube controller.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Nintendo, please do not bring back the GameCube controller for this Smash game.
Oh, please no. Oh. Yeah, no, because
force everyone who uses it.
If you don't use the GameCube controller, then you suck. No, just leave it. Let the GameCube controller die on Wii U, please.
I hope
they should have let it die on GameCube. I'm sorry to everyone who loves that controller. It's time to let go. Okay? It's been well over 20 years since GameCube came out. We've had multiple generations of systems. It's time. I'm not saying it's a bad controller. I understand it is the last time Nintendo did analog sticks, like analog triggers and stuff. None of that matters in Smash. Time to dump it. Be done. Matters in Melee. That's great. We're not talking about Melee HD here. We're talking about Smash. A brand new Smash game or a potential Wii U 3DS port game. Either way, you don't really have any competitive advantage with GameCube controller over standard controllers, especially if you're using a wired standard controller. Now, here's the thing. You might argue, yes, I do. You only do because you're used to it.
Right.
Get rid of the controller. Get used to the new controllers that literally every other fighting game in the world uses a similar setup, and they get good with it too. Granted, I understand there's fight sticks, stuff like that. That's cool. They want to release a fight stick for the game. I'm fine with that. No more GameCube controllers. Die in a fire.
I opened a can of worms.
Anyways.
Good job.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really excited for Mario Tennis Aces. I wish they would have told us more about the story.
That was definitely my favorite game on that.
I thought they might have given too much information at first because I was getting a little long in the tooth like when they did Xenoblade. But then they kind of like reined it in, and I'm like, you know what? The reason they're doing it, it doesn't sound complicated, but it feels complicated because of how simple it's been in the past. And I'm kind of glad they went through the detail that they did. but it didn't overwhelm you with it because they kind of re-explained it a few times instead of just like, here's a bazillion. Like, I'm almost glad they didn't show single player because they gave us so much information on just the gameplay.
The difference for me is this felt well paced.
Oh, sure.
Whereas what was it, Xenoblade?
Yeah.
That felt so crammed, so rushed, and over such a long period of time.
Sure.
This one felt really well paced. Sure. That's the difference for me.
All right. No, obviously another game. It was unveiled last E3, coming to Switch now. Sushi Striker: The Way of Sushido. Guys, got any thoughts on that crazy looking sushi game?
Yeah, it did look nuts.
It just looks nuts. It looks like it'd be fun. I don't know if I could see someone just picking up this game, spending hundreds of hours on it, just because it's just crazy. It's just like people do with Overcooked. It's just crazy fun. Probably won't pick it up unless I get a review code or something.
It looks stupid.
Oh man!
Ooh.
Ouch! It's a weird game. It's a weird game.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's going to have a huge audience. It's probably why it hasn't come out yet on the 3DS.
I still like the other part of it. You know, the eat, throw sushi. That seems like a way better title.
We talked a little bit about it before. Octopath Travelers.
Yep.
Eric, you got any thoughts on it?
Looks amazing.
Looks amazing?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Is it your kind of game? I mean, it reminds you of the old school RPGs, but with a new perspective.
Right.
And it's voice acting, fully voice acted.
Yeah. It looks amazing.
Hey, Nintendo, if this game can be fully voice acted, can we get Zelda, please? Anyways,
Please.
I'm sorry. If Square can do it with this game, they can do it with Zelda. Come on. I know you were scared to dabble. You dabbled. Generally, it was a success. Let's see the dabbling turn into full-blown voice acting, please. Doesn't mean Link has to talk.
No.
Just saying. All right. Octopath Traveler looks great.
Yeah.
The new characters they unveiled look fantastic. Apothecary and Merchant, I believe.
Yes, Merchant.
Another female, another male. There's Octopath. There's 8 characters total, so now it's half of them unveiled. We'll probably have all of them unveiled before, because it's not knowing what the characters are; it's experiencing their stories that matter.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't really tell us much about their stories, which is good. That's fine. I'm cool with that.
Right.
We already have 2 characters that we know a little bit about just because we have a demo. The demo's fantastic. I understand this isn't going to be for everyone. Some people are kind of over turn-based. Like when I was streaming it, a lot of people said, man, it's turn-based combat. And I'm like, I love turn-based combat. So I'm totally all up in that.
If done well.
If done well. And I feel like this one was done well. It took me a little bit to learn a few things with the moves because it didn't really explain it that well. And I always hate when a game does that, and this is what makes me detest Pokemon a little bit, is that it doesn't do well with tutorials. But
or demos.
I was able to figure it out. And maybe it's just because I was having so much fun, I forced myself to figure it out.
Huh?
I wonder why I kept dying to this one boss, and then I figured it out. Oh, I'm not even using these moves remotely correctly.
Yeah.
I could do this and that. I'm like, holy crap. Maybe it told me this at one point and I skipped over it because I'm so used to skipping sometimes. You know, I don't know. I guess I'll find out when the full game comes out. You got any thoughts on Octopath Travelers, Darren?
I mean, I played the demo, and like I said, the visuals are great. I'm just not a JRPG fan, not a turn-based combat fan.
Yeah, it's an old school,
not
traditional
a
JRPG.
random encounter fan at all. I can deal with turn-based combat. I love Pokemon. I'll tolerate it there. But random encounters, even though I didn't tolerate it in Pokemon.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, that's Pokemon the game.
In other games, I don't know.
Turn-based combat.
Even Undertale. That's Undertale, too. Turn-based combat.
Random encounters. What about this game turning you off from it, then?
I don't know. I mean, Undertale and Pokemon, I tolerate it, but this game, it just felt like, again.
It feels like a traditional JRPG, and I think that's why. Pokemon doesn't feel traditional.
And I don't like that.
Undertale
and I know
doesn't feel traditional.
A lot of people do. I know a lot of people like that.
I guarantee you it's
JRPG fan.
It's
a game that I'm going to watch, honestly. It's a game that I'm going to watch the Game Grumps play.
Because we just had this long talk about Zelda and atmosphere. I think it's just atmosphere. When you turn on this game, it feels like one of those old Final Fantasy games on SNES.
Yep.
And if you weren't into it then, you ain't going to be into it now.
Well, I mean, and then also I think, I don't know what the music is in Octopath, but
it's good.
Like, no, I meant like for like during battles and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But Undertale and Pokemon have some pretty decent, especially Undertale. Undertale's pretty epic music during battles.
I get sick of the Pokemon music because a zillion battles the same music every time.
Yeah.
I mean, but it is
good.
It gets you hyped.
Yeah. The first time.
Right. Well, yes.
I'm like that with it. It's not. I'm not just putting on Pokemon for this.
Right.
All games that have combat music that never changes and always the same. I'm like, dude, isn't that a remnant of the '90s? Haven't we moved past that?
Right.
Like when I get in combat in Breath of the Wild, I don't have a specific type of music that plays every time. Like, why? I don't need to be told I'm in combat. I'm aware I'm in combat. Play me some cool music.
You do it. Yes, you do. You have a music that plays.
Not really.
Yes, you do.
Not really.
There's like that little like piano music starts going when like a bokoblin comes up. It plays music and then it changes if there's a guardian nearby. You know, you got that sick piano solo.
Sure, yeah, the guardian one specifically. That one does everything.
It's a little bit more subtle.
Sure, there's that.
That's the difference. It's not in your face. Like
even then, I just don't like combat music.
Right.
I really am.
That's everywhere in Breath of the Wild. When a bokoblin comes up, it's like
yeah, but I killed him so fast that I don't even notice.
That's true.
Like seriously, I plan my setup. I hit my attack. Like the thing is, I initiate the attack and then they're all dead.
Yeah.
So I don't have to listen to it. I hear it with Guardians because I do have to listen to it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Hear it with Lionel's, of course. But I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe it's because it's live action.
Yeah.
So you're so engaged in the actual combat. I'm not really.
You're not focused on the music.
I'm not listening, but like when you're in a turn-based situation, of course you hear it.
Yeah.
Every time you don't select a move, it's blasting you.
I mean, in Breath of the Wild, for me, it did get a little repetitive, not to the point where it was overly annoying, but in Pokemon, definitely. When you hear that battle theme for like the 78th time, it's like, okay, but can we not?
Well, that's the way I get with any turn-based that has the battle combat. It's
right.
All right. Like, can we at least get it like changing up per enemy type or something? No?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know it's a minor complaint because games have been doing it forever, but I always felt like that was one thing we need to. I'm fine with there being combat music, but why do we not have more variety in it by now in 2018? You know, it feels like we've hit that point where why are we not expanding the tracks? We expand it for. Sometimes there'll be different sounding footsteps. So why can't we have different sounding combat music? Anyways.
They hate you.
Remember all the emphasis EJ and Noma put on the sound of the hooves when you're running on a horse that you barely ever use in the game anyways? Because it's easier just to traverse on foot half the time? Well, guess what? Maybe instead of putting all the stuff in that, they should have worked on more combat music.
Yeah, I'm not going to ride around this mountain. I'm just going to go straight over the top of it.
What?
You said they should have worked on what? You cut out.
More combat music.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, combat music. Yeah, maybe.
Instead of the hooves. Like, I get it. They're proud of the sound of the hooves, and I get that that's a really good thing to be proud of because that means you're
it is epic,
your attention to details and trying to make this feel and sound realistic. I love it. But it's like, but you couldn't vary the combat music?
No.
Come on. And that's me complaining about Breath of the Wild because now that you mentioned the Guardian, I do remember I keep getting annoyed every time with the Guardian. It's like... Okay, I know I'm in combat
I just got annoyed because
there's a giant laser beam pointing at my head. I got it. I'm in combat.
Running away!
So let's briefly touch on this because I know there's some people that are really hyped for it. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. Now, I'm sure Eric's never played No More Heroes game, I guarantee.
Nope.
I mean, this is Wii era stuff right here. Darrin, have you ever played No More Heroes?
Nope.
Okay.
Didn't even know about it until the Switch announcement.
Yeah, so Travis Strikes Again was basically an indie game way back when it was No More Heroes, No More Heroes 1, No More Heroes 2, etc.
I've heard of No More Heroes, but
if I had someone who would play through the whole game with me, I would get it. But it doesn't look like a game that I would sit down and enjoy.
What's the weird thing? No More Heroes has always been a single player focus. So the fact that they have a huge focus. But then again, this is a very different No More Heroes game. The attitude of Travis Dustdown doesn't look like it's changed at all, which is good. Because his attitude is very interesting. I'll just put it that way. I don't want to spoil it too much. If you guys have ever played, you know what it's all about. But it's a very different game. It's got some of his classic moves, but it's got like this way zoomed out perspective versus like in the past it was more almost first person kind of combat, lightsaber duels, and I don't want to say duels, but that's what it felt like was duels. and this is very not like that at all. Maybe the boss fights are like that. I don't know, but like the basic combat, like because you're going through 7 very differently themed indie style things from racing. Somehow racing's part of it. To I don't know. They went through a whole bunch of them in the recent trailer. I gotta say that I'm just No More Heroes can get away with it. Of course they can, because it's a smaller team and they just do whatever the heck they want. And that's kind of the way that's Travis Dutch's like personality. I do what I want.
Yeah.
So this is what they want to do. So this is what's going to happen. And like it or hate it, this is. I mean, they're making it co-op. So I'm sure if I pick it up, we're gonna sit in a stream sometime and he's gonna play through with me. Probably remind us of the old school co-op games back in the day, arcade style.
Can we get another Time Splitters?
Oh, I miss Time Splitters. So I guess we'll leave it at that because I'm the only one that can really talk about it.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel about what they announced with Dark Souls?
I mean,
New
the
amiibo.
only interesting thing that I took away with this announcement is the fact that there's going to be a network test demo.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I've never played a Dark Souls game, so
Same, I
I'll
tried
probably
out.
pick this up,
Yeah.
and I'll be able to play the demo. So, I mean, that's pretty
for a
cool.
lot of people-
Probably won't get the amiibo.
I have
but
never
hey,
played Dark Souls, but from what people who have played it told me, they said Dark Souls is what Zelda could have become if after Zelda 2, they would have still favored difficulty over whatever Zelda ended up becoming, obviously.
Right, yeah. But I mean, the
because
amiibo
Dark
was
Souls-
like, okay,
Dark
that's
Souls
funny.
apparently
Praise
has
the sun.
exploration. Combat was always super difficult in Zelda the first 2 games, and then they're like, no, now combat's easy, and we're going to focus on world, I guess, exploration. I don't know. Dungeon
And
crawling.
sucky dungeons.
So I knew that was coming. Yep. So I've never played Dark Souls. I never played Bloodborne, which is also made by the same people. So I'm probably going to end up picking it. Well, I'm going to try it. Hope I enjoy it.
Mhm.
If I enjoy it, I'll pick it up. It's going to be hell. People
I'm
warn
sure
me.
It's
The thing is, people make it sound like it's like the hardest game ever, and I'm sorry. I grew up in the NES days. Let me tell you something about difficult.
right.
I
Classically trained.
I guarantee you
Right.
that this might be difficult by today's standards or a decade ago standards.
Yeah.
A decade ago standards games were a joke,
Yeah.
difficulty-wise.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I don't struggle. I mean, you're talking to someone here. I've never beat a gold Lionel. I've never beat a Lionel straight up without using a damn arrow. So I suck at Breath of the Wild is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm actually
Watch
really
him
good.
play this and get his ass kicked on
Yeah.
stream.
I know I'm going to get my ass
Right?
kicked. I'm going to. But here's the thing. That's what it was on NES back in the day. You would get your ass kicked over and over and have to start the game all over again.
Yeah. Right.
But you would just get your ass kicked. It forced you to get good.
Yeah.
Whereas in Breath of the Wild, you could just avoid all the difficult stuff.
Yeah.
It's all optional. You got to do it.
Yeah.
In Dark Souls, you can't
Well,
avoid
you
a lot
do
of the
have to defeat one line.
You don't
If
have
you
to
want to
defeat
play,
everything.
if you want to play through the main campaign, you got to beat that one line.
Which one? I never beat a
one-
single Lionel and I beat the story.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure you have to defeat one
For
to
what?
get something. I don't know. It's in the Rito or
Nope.
not the
You
the
just have
Zora.
to, nope, you just
can-
need 10 shock arrows.
The Zora Kingdom. Really?
Yep. You could
Huh.
you could literally they tell you there's a
Yeah. You
a
don't
thing
have
up
to
there.
technically beat them.
No, no, you can just go up there and you grab the arrows and run.
Yeah.
I guess I just went above and beyond then.
Yeah.
Oh, Darrin getting cocky over there. Yes, you're better at Breath of the Wild than me, Darrin. All right.
Yes.
I don't
No
care
question.
about being the best at Breath of the Wild. I love Breath of the Wild the way that I love it, and that's just the way it is. And
How am I
Lionel's
better at Breath of the Wild than you? You have how many hours into it?
155.
155. I have 80.
So
Yeah.
it's not about hours played. Have you beat the DLC?
Yeah.
Okay, so have I.
So
We're basically equal.
You have more practice though.
Not really. I spend most of my time just running around.
Yeah.
No,
And
You
trying to figure
literally
out some
just said,
puzzles.
"Oh, I guess I just did whatever." Like you're talking about beating Lionels and all this stuff, and I'm like, dude, I avoid combat in Breath of the Wild. I
run
literally
head
like
first
do only
into
do
it.
I only do combat when I have to. Like, did you beat the Master Trials?
I got to the very last floor and said, "You know what? Screw this."
I
I'm
never
not
even
doing it
I never
again."
even got through the first section to unlock the next one.
Okay.
Have you played any of Master Mode?
I actually haven't. That's something I'm
Okay,
waiting for my second
again, that's
playthrough.
why I have more hours because of Master Mode. On Master Mode, I probably got like 70 hours just looking for Korok seeds.
Yeah, I'm waiting until I start on my second playthrough for Master Mode.
Yeah, so no, you've probably done way more in Breath of the Wild than I have because of how we played. That's the beauty of Breath of the Wild, though.
Yeah.
I could have 300 hours played, and in 100, you might have actually seen and done more.
Yeah.
Because I am choosing to do something different, like Korok seed hunting, which is very, very tedious.
How many shrines have you done?
I maybe beat 30.
Okay. I've done all 120. And that's the thing. You just said Korok seed hunting was tedious. That's why I don't do it.
I want the golden poop.
The golden
Because
poop.
it reminds me of dungeons. Tedious.
Here's the thing. My Master Mode run is my 100% run. When I finally 100% the game in Master Mode, I am done with Breath of the Wild. I will never touch it again. Guaranteed.
Don't say that.
No, I'm guaranteeing it. I will never touch it again. Because this is what happens with me in games. You know, I'm going to set this one down. When it comes to me in games, I get to a point where I am completely satisfied. I don't feel like when I hit that point I need to replay anymore. The only reason that I even might one day replay Secret of Mana is because I have never beaten the final boss. And I need to do it before I die.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go start to finish and beat that final boss. So that is motivation for me to play it again. But I have played so much of Secret of Mana so many times up to the final boss that I just haven't felt the need to have to pick up the game and play it.
That's me in Bowser's Inside Story.
But that's me with every game. Like Odyssey
years
right now.
ago, and I didn't beat the boss.
Like Odyssey right now. I'm doing like this 100% run of Odyssey, trying to collect all 999 moons. I'm not going to collect all 999 moons. I'm going to collect 400, 500, 600. I'm going to hit a point where I'm just satisfied. And then that's it.
I'm not going to collect all the moons. You know why? Because it's tedious.
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm going to hit that point where I'm satisfied. I've experienced all the content I feel like I want to experience. As an example, in going to get all the moons, I didn't realize that in Mushroom Kingdom there's extra boss fights. I had no idea. No idea. I would have never known that if I wasn't moon hunting. So like that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like all these additional moons are unlocking or showing me all this additional content. So I'm going to hit that point where eventually I'm like, okay, I've seen all the content. I'm good. That's just the way it's going to feel for me eventually. And then on top of all that, Breath of the Wild, the only reason it's different and why I'm willing to go through the tedium is because I don't 100% games often. I will start out with my goal to do it, but I always hit that satisfaction point where I'm like, you know what, I'm good. Breath of the Wild's a little different because, one, I enjoy it so much. Two, I haven't hit that point yet. And three, I felt this way with Secret of Mana as well, which is why I feel bad talking about this, is it is my favorite game of all time. There is not a single game even remotely close. And that feels weird saying because Secret of Mana was my number one game for so long. And as my favorite game of all time with nothing even close, I feel like it's like this life mission that I need to 100% this game one time in my life. It just needs to happen. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it on the hardest mode in the game. And yes, that means, yes, folks, for me to 100% the game, I personally, even though the game doesn't have achievements for it, include at least beating every enemy one time. Now, the thing is, I'm going to face Gold Lionels in the Master Trials anyways. So I'm gonna have to beat every single enemy in the game anyways because they all appear in the Master Trials from what I've heard. So whatever. But it's just that thing where I feel like for my own personal achievement, tedium or not, I need to do it. It's the only game I've ever felt that I need to do it. So I'm going to. I'm not rushing it. I'm letting Breath of the Wild last for years, and I'm okay with that because it is my favorite game of all time. But I know once I finally reach that point where I've got every Korok seed, every shrine done, every area of the map explored, all of the Master Trial done, all the DLC done. You recorded some cool trick videos with the Master Cycle or whatever.
How many ways you can kill Link?
Like I'll probably do some like I still haven't done the how you can like that one side quest where you could jump off the tower and you're supposed to see how far you can go and you can like shoot fire arrows up the ground and keep yourself going longer and longer and longer. I haven't really done very well on that yet, so I want to get good and just get one really far distance on that and be good. All the stuff I want to do, is all part of me 100% in the game, in my opinion. Once I hit that point, there will be nothing left that I feel I need to do anymore. So while I still will always love playing the game, if I'm at someone's house and they're struggling, I'm going to be like, damn it, I control it. But I personally am not going to feel the need to ever boot up that file again. I'm not going to want to get rid of the file. If I need to record gameplay for Prime purposes, I will go back in and do that if I need to. But outside of that, I will never feel that urge, say 15 years from now, you know what, I got to boot that game up and play it again. Because that's not how I am with games. I always hit an eventual finish point. Hopefully that finish point is at least beating the story. But that's not always the case with some games. I hit that finish point in GoldenEye when multiplayer-wise, you never hit that point in GoldenEye. But single-player-wise, I hit that point when I beat the most difficult stuff. Mm-hmm. Did that, done. I don't feel the need to do it anymore. For some people, that's the case. Like with Dark Souls, I'm probably not going to feel the need to have to do everything. I will just be happy beating the game. Mm-hmm. And then I probably will never pick it up again. That's why, like, a lot of these remastered re-releases and all this stuff, like these ports for Switch that we got announced today, it's like, I don't care. Because I already got my full satisfaction out of that game. A sequel, sure. Like, right. If Treasure Tracker was a sequel, I'd be all up in that. Mm-hmm. But I am fully satisfied with the amount of time I put in Treasure Tracker already. Fully satisfied with my experience with it. In a lot of games, Breath of the Wild's a little different, but in a lot of games, my best time playing the game is the first time. Mm-hmm. Replaying the game can be fun, but that first time experience can never be met again. Mm-hmm. So I usually at that one save file, I get to a satisfaction point and I'm good. So when I reboot it up, I know everything that's going to happen before it happens. And it's just not as fun for me anymore. The multiplayer games are obviously different. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, that's just the way I am with gaming in general. It's like a lot of my Switch games, I'm practically done with. I reached that point a little bit with Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Now, I do want to beat the DLC. So, I am eventually, once I'm off the kick of the current games I'm going to go back and beat the DLC, and then I'll be satisfied. I didn't complete everything I could. I didn't unlock everything I could in that game, but I'm satisfied with where I'm at. I'm satisfied with it to a point that I don't feel the urge to play it. And somebody say, what kind of gamer does that make me? I have no idea. One that plays a shitload of games instead of replaying 5 of them over and over again for my whole life.
Yeah.
I play a shitload of games and I beat a shitload of games, especially on Switch. I play a lot more games on Switch now than I've ever done in probably the last 10 years of my life. Mm-hmm. Not just because I love Switch so much and it makes it convenient, but because there's a lot of games I want to play and I'm reaching satisfaction points. And sometimes the satisfaction point isn't beating the game. And part of me gets disappointed when that happens. Like, if I get the Travis touchdown game and I don't beat it, I'll be a little disappointed. I mean, like Fire Emblem Warriors, example. Booted it up, had a good time, but I'm probably never going to beat it, and I know that. Mm-hmm. And I'm a little disappointed in myself that I'm not going to do it. But as I told people who got upset at me that I'm not going to do that, same with Xenoblade 2 probably, is I only live once, and I can't help that I'm enjoying other games more. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what it is. Like, will I eventually get back to it? Maybe. If I ever reach a point that every single game that I own I'm satisfied with, then I might go back to those games and try to reach that satisfaction level with them. But for now, 15 hours in Xenoblade 2, I am currently satisfied with Xenoblade 2. I don't feel like I need to play more of it. I don't have that drive to want to. Not because I'm not enjoying it, but because there's other games I'd rather play. Mm-hmm. That's just the way I am with games in general. And maybe I'll end up having to split this whole part out separate to and do a whole video on it. But it's just, I don't know. That might sound foreign to Darrin over there. He's probably like, dude, I replay games all the time. And I'll give you a prime example. I bought Age of Empires HD. Or Remastered or Definitive Edition or whatever it is. They just released it on the Windows Store like a few weeks ago. For $20 or whatever. Picked it up. Love it. I love it. It is fantastic. The only reason I still play it once in a while is the multiplayer. I wouldn't play some of the single-player campaigns. I'm like, I'm going to relive those campaigns again. And I'm like, I've been there, I've done this. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happens. I know how to beat it. I don't really... I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy it or that's worse than what I remember. It's that I'm still satisfied with it. Mm-hmm. Same was true with the Age of Empires 2 HD when that came out. Got that. I'm still satisfied with all my campaign stuff. I don't feel the need to have to do it anymore. Now, the multiplayer, I miss that multiplayer, and it is fun as hell still. But again, multiplayer is a totally different thing. It's a newish experience every time.
Mm-hmm. Not every game goes the same.
And not every game goes the same. Even if Eric and I are playing against each other, not every match will go the same.
Right.
One game you might be more defensive. One game I might focus on resource gathering. Another game I focus on just trying to destroy each other.
Right.
As fast as possible, end the game quick. How long do we want to play for? Blah blah blah.
Right.
But, there's so many different factors, and that's the same way I am just with gaming on the whole. I am someone that can actually be satisfied with a game and not need to replay it. And that doesn't mean the games aren't fantastic. It's just like Super Mario 64 is one of those games. A lot of people love replaying it. I'm like, dude, I have put in I probably 500 hours in that game when I was a kid. I got it again on DS. Never beat it on DS. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel like I needed to. I played it for early enough. I get, okay, cool. It's a game I've already played.
Yep.
Let's move on to something new. I am the type of person that ports really shouldn't be for.
Yeah.
The only reason that I'm excited about some ports, like the Fractured Butthole, is because I never played them.
Yeah.
So they're still quote-unquote new games for me.
Right.
But that's why I like Treasure Tracker. The only reason I'm considering picking it up is the Odyssey levels. Because now it's always going to bug me that even though I beat that game,
there's still content.
There's this new content on it that deals with one of my favorite Mario games that I haven't touched.
Yeah.
But is it worth $60 or whatever they're going to charge for me to go through all the bullshit it's going to take that I've already done to get to it? And the thing is, it's not that I don't enjoy it. It's just I'm never going to enjoy it as much as that first time through. Because I now know how to solve all those stages. So it's still fun. But, and this is where, like, there are games that are exceptions to this rule. This is why I like Kirby so much. There's an exception. Kirby, because there's no challenge. Or very little challenge. Because it's just about pure, unadulterated fun. Which is probably why Darrin enjoys Hyrule Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how many times I play it. It's just fun every time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way multiplayer games really are for a lot of people. It's just fun every time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just kind of the way I am. I don't know. I mean, why do you, Darrin? Let me ask you. Why do you replay games?
I don't, to be honest with you. I mean, there's one reason why we play games. One reason alone. Well, there's two reasons. Number one is because I didn't beat it the first time, and I want to go back and beat it. If I beat a game, probably not going to go back and replay it. I beat Ocarina of Time, and do I want to go back and replay it? Not really.
I will play Ocarina. I'll give it one exception. I will replay a game from my childhood, like an Ocarina of Time, if it comes out in like an HD form. Because part of me is always going to want to be like, you know what? I actually want to go back to my old memories, see what that looks like in HD.
Okay, yeah, that if it was a completely, made game.
Because like I had the 3D, obviously I got it on 3DS and Majora's Mask, and the only reason I beat those games on 3DS is because I worked at Zelda Informer. Otherwise, I would have never beat them. I would have owned them because I would have wanted to see the visual upgrade, but after a while, I would have been like, okay, it's still the same game. I'm good. But I worked at Zelda Informer. I felt like I should put the time in. Mm-hmm. Like it felt like an obligation because of my job. That's the only time working at Zelda Informer like really felt like a job is when I forced myself to replay games because I just don't really enjoy doing that when I've been satisfied. And Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, I'm satisfied. But if they're back in HD, there's a new reason for me to play. That curiosity of, damn, how does that childhood memory look like?
So 3 reasons. Haven't beat it.
It's the same reason I want to play Shadow of the Colossus right now. I don't own a PlayStation 4, but I really want to get the Shadow of the Colossus HD. I really want to get it so bad.
I'm playing it for the first time in HD, for the first time ever, and I'm in love with it.
And then,
especially with the HDR. Oh man!
Some people are going to point out
what this game is.
Don't you want to play Secret of Mana, the remake game? I'm like, no, because it looks like dog crap. They ruined the art style. They ruined it. Mm-hmm. So no, I don't really want to. Well, should I probably try it out sometime and see if it's really as bad as I visually feel like it is? I probably should, because I always say give things a fair shake. But it's Secret of Mana. I already know everything's going to happen. Yeah. They didn't add new content. So they added voice acting, which it'll be a leave it or take it thing for most people.
Mhm.
And then they upgraded all the visuals, and I don't like the visual upgrades. I feel like they should just HD the OG
Mhm.
visuals, but you can do that with emulation. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying do it, but it happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. Go on, Darren. Sorry, I kept cutting you off.
Okay. So 3 reasons. For HD remake, remaster, what have you. I guess we can lump new content into there, like the Bowser's Inside Story thing. And number 3 is just complete nostalgia. I'm going to use Super Mario Brothers on NES as an example of this. One of the first games I played. Loved it. Have beaten it. When Super Mario Bros. Versus released on Switch, did I download that? You better believe I downloaded that. It's sitting on my Switch right now. I've probably played like 20 minutes of it. Probably sunk 20 minutes into it. But I'm glad I have it because it's a trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's, I mean, I really don't replay games that much anymore. I used to a lot, but not anymore.
Right. So I guess since Nate's stepped out for a second, and he said we should just go ahead and move on to topic 2. And I don't know how much we're going to spend on this, but we'll move on to topic 2. Apparently there's a Pokemon rumor out there that the Pokemon for Switch is a reboot.
Yeah. And, I mean, I really wouldn't. I'm not as invested in the Pokemon series as some. I know they're all connected, but Pokemon is growing into a monster. There's way too many Pokemon.
Yep.
Way too. Okay? I know I like Pokemon. I said before that turn-based gaming, random encounters, not my thing, but still I tolerate them in Pokemon because I like the Pokemon games.
Mm-hmm.
But a remake wouldn't bother me because it'd kind of be like starting from a fresh, clean slate. Because I feel I got into Pokemon late in the game, around when Y released. And I kind of felt overwhelmed because of all these mechanics and stuff that I haven't mastered yet. And, I just, I thought Pokemon, you just caught Pokemon and trained them. But no, you can breed them. And
Yeah.
there's these, like, levels that you got to level up and you can't see them. And berries, and oh my goodness. But I feel like a Pokemon reboot would, just kind of wipe the slate clean. Things are starting out fresh. Everyone's on the same level again. Still, be the familiar Pokemon gameplay we all know and love, but, I'm kind of picturing kind of a plain, just a reintroduction of what we all love about Pokemon, which is collecting lovable monsters, training them up, and being the best there ever was, or what have you.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, if it is a reboot, I'm trying to figure out whether I'm surprised or not surprised at if it was a reboot, because on one hand it's like, oh, Nintendo has spent so many years building this world of Pokemon.
Right, exactly. How would you reboot that? I mean,
exactly. And if you reboot it, is it going to be Ash and his pals again, or is it?
Yeah,
because I'm assuming they would reboot the anime as well. I don't know.
Well, haven't they already rebooted the anime?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I mean, the anime seems to follow the games.
Yeah,
so that's all in one universe,
true.
I guess.
Yeah, true.
So I mean, if the game were rebooted, and the anime followed the game, or vice versa, then I guess it would be a reboot of both.
Mm-hmm.
So would the anime be like, oh, Ash and his pals are at it again in this new game that's actually a reboot of the games, but not the anime? That would be a little...
Yeah, it just, to me, it's really interesting. It'd be an interesting thing to see how they would reboot it, because you already have how many Pokemon out there. What is just all of a sudden they don't exist anymore, or is this going to be just a parallel universe, or a completely different, like, not necessarily region, but like a different continent where they have completely different and brand new Pokemon that they start over from one, or
I mean, it'd be weird because, I mean, would you use from the last slew of Pokemon games in that universe? I mean, you would have to use Pikachu. I mean, the face of Pokemon. If there was a mainline Pokemon game without Pikachu, I think people would just riot in the streets. So,
yeah,
are you going to use Pikachu and Squirtle and Charizard and all them? Or use, like, Mimikyu from Sun and Moon? You're going to put him in there? Like, what Pokemon are going to come from the old universe? And how many new Pokemon will be introduced,
Right. And, for me, maybe they find another, like a different type of Pikachu. And, Pikachu is the face of the one Pokemon, and then they have, the reboot where it has a completely new face of the franchise. And they kind of are coexistent, and, they each have their own thing.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Kind of like a different aesthetic.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were talking about tying to the anime.
Right.
I would be interested to see if Pokemon Go would reflect any of those changes. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of people still play that game. And it makes a lot of money.
Oh, right. But I think they haven't caught up to what they have out now. So right now, I wouldn't see Pokemon going in that direction because it hasn't caught up to what's out now.
Yeah. I think they're only up to like Gen 3, maybe not.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm pretty sure Gen 3, but
yeah.
I mean, it kind of makes me wonder if Pokemon, the game franchise, was rebooted, would they keep adding old gens of the old, like, defunct universe now into Pokemon Go?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, to me, I would think you would almost have to just to get, I guess, I would think until you got all of the Pokemon in there. I guess. I don't know. I mean, it depends on how if this reboot, if it is a reboot, if that does blow up, I guess, do you just pick a point and say, I guess we're done adding this universe and we're going to start a different, or maybe they make a Pokemon Go 2, or, I mean,
man, if they made a Pokemon Go 2 and it was different and, it had Pokemon from the rebooted Pokemon franchise.
Right.
Imagine if that captured the mania of the first one's release.
Right. And then you could actually cross battle. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if once they put battles in,
right.
You could cross battle between universes and just, I guess, I don't know. Or if you want to keep them separate. I mean, I think if they're going to go reboot, I think you almost have to just completely make it brand new Pokemon. Try not, as much as I hate to say it, you can't really, you can touch on like the other Pokemon games, but I wouldn't include any of the other Pokemon. As much as that pains me to say, because I do love my Gen 1 Pokemon. I do love parts of other generations, but for me, if it's going to be a complete reboot, I think you have to put a separation in there.
Yeah. And I mean, Gen 1 is near and dear to a lot of people, that's for sure. I mean, even if just for, you played the first game, or, they featured a lot in the anime and you watched that.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be interesting to see the rate if they would just go all new or mix, or if they didn't even add any new Pokemon. They're like, all right, this is a reboot, and we're just going to have all of Gen 1 in here. No new Pokemon.
Right. Yeah.
I wonder how people would react.
If they were to basically bring back Red and Blue on the Switch and reboot it that way, that would definitely be an interesting way to do it too. I mean, basically restart the whole entire story again and start from the beginning with the same Pokemon as in were Red and Blue and Yellow. Yeah, that would be a definite another way to go. But didn't they?
And I mean, if it was I'm thinking like reboot, like make a whole new game and reboot it with different story, different characters. But maybe another path they could take is, like you were saying, bring Red and Blue back. Basically, a Link Between Worlds. Give it the Link Between Worlds, like Red and Blue, but with a fun, unique twist and whole new content and stuff like that in
Right.
the Pokemon universe.
Right.
So it would appeal to nostalgia, but also have the draw the attention of new gameplay.
Add a little bit to the story of Red and Blue.
Yeah.
But still keep the original Pokemon. So you have the nostalgia of the original Pokemon, but with a few new things added in. I could see them going that direction as well.
Yeah. And then, in the anime, if they brought back, like, Brock and Misty.
Yeah.
You better believe a lot of people would return to watching that.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if just for an episode or two.
Right.
Just to relive,
relive the Who's That Pokemon?
Yeah. Who's that Pokemon? That was great.
Yeah.
I got all these memories flooding back to me now.
Oh, for sure.
Of watching Pokemon.
So how much of the new games have you played?
Well, it's funny. I'm a weird Pokemon fan. I became a fan watching the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch it all the time, and I loved it. And basically, it was my biggest dream to go out and become a Pokemon trainer.
Right.
Gotta catch him. Oh,
yeah.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't everybody's.
Right.
But I started playing Pokemon. My first Pokemon game was Pokemon Y. And I absolutely loved it, and I needed to play more. So I played Omega Ruby for the 3DS, the remake, which I thought was good. I didn't beat it. I mean, I thought it was good, but I didn't play it out to the end. I forget why. Probably just other games at the time. And then I played the original Red. Or no, I played Yellow, I think, on the 3DS Virtual Console when it came out. And I really liked that. I watched, I forget the series name, but it was an Easy Ally series where Pokemon veteran Kyle Bossman was having Brandon Jones, who had never played Pokemon before, play for the first time.
Brandon plays Pokemon.
Yeah, Brandon plays Pokemon. There you go.
Oh, that's a fairly simple title.
It was an awesome series.
Yeah, seeing Brandon experience that Pokemon game for the first time, even though I had never played it before, brought about in me an appreciation for that game. So I said, well, I have to play it now. And so I did, and it's just a charming little game. And then I played Pokemon Moon, my favorite Pokemon game of all time.
Okay.
Which I thought was amazing. I have not played the new versions of Pokemon Sun or Moon.
Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
Yeah.
Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I
know my stuff, even though I know nothing about Pokemon because I don't.
Right.
It's still one of those things that, like, because of what I do at Hitter Prime, I know what's happening.
For saying this, but I just really don't see justifying the cost of buying the game again for just this little bit of content. And I know there's probably
a whole new story
of it right now. Well, there's this whole new this, that. And
what's a whole new story?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I probably should, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to wait until the next Pokemon game. But so I've played. That's about my extent of Pokemon games. Haven't played Snap. Haven't played any of the other Pokemon spin-offs.
Right.
Just those 4 games, and I've watched a bunch of the cartoons.
Yeah. So then you wouldn't have been against. Picking up. I guess you did say you wouldn't pick up the new ones on the. New ones created, but.
Yeah. The new Pokemon game comes out for Switch.
Right. So we have the fan topic. That's just kind of a side topic of this one, and I think this is kind of more aimed towards Nate and I than it would be for Darrin, because just with you being gone for a little while, and then because we've expressed that our views on Pokemon have just we're kind of done with the series in a way. and what is it, Gensha Fox?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he,
I think it's a she. I think.
Well, whatever. Gensha Fox would like to, was wondering what would have lured us back to Pokemon games on the 3DS. The reason they ask is we're the exact sort of people that Game Freak seems to be trying to get back to the franchise, mainly the Kanto / Gen 1 people. They're wondering just kind of what would have brought us back to playing the actual Pokemon.
Yeah, she notes that like the nostalgia stuff they've been trying to do that obviously hasn't worked because it's not.
Right.
This isn't just like an us thing. In general, it didn't bring back the so-called Gen 1ers or whatever the case may be.
Well, yeah, but this is saying it's more geared towards us.
Yeah.
As not everybody else is here.
There is, to me, probably nothing they could have done. And I'm not saying that because I'm just done with the franchise. I'm not, I know we've been done for a while outside of maybe a spin-off game or a try at something here or there that we played the demo from Sun and Moon. So, like, it's not like we're done and we've lost complete interest in Pokemon overall.
Right.
At least I haven't.
Yeah.
But I've been done with the games for a while because I've been waiting for that feeling to come back of, oh, I don't feel so lost anymore. And the thing is, like, I know they did like Fire Red and all that stuff. Like, they tried to bring back like the Red and Blue Gen 1 stuff. I understand that, but I mean, there's 800 plus Pokemon.
Yeah. Right.
So first off, that alone to me is off-putting. We're approaching 1,000 Pokemon, and to me, as someone, like, when you talk about appealing to a Gen 1 person, I'm someone that's about catching them all.
Right.
That's what Pokemon has always been to me. It wasn't about necessarily becoming the best. That was kind of an aside. The primary purpose was to become a Pokemon master meant you have every single Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's what being a Pokemon master really meant.
The gotta be the best came more from the anime than it did from the actual game
And even
itself.
in the anime, Ash has never been the best.
Right.
He's never been.
Well, because it's I want to be the very best that like no one ever was.
And he
wants to be. Yes,
he wants to be, but he never really quite gets there. And that's fine. That works in the anime. It's a nice anime storyline. For like, when is Ash ever going to get there? Well, when they're done either with Ash as a character or they're done with Pokemon. It'll be the final season ever. He'll finally be the best.
Right.
Sure.
But whereas Gotta Catch 'Em All, that was pretty much the tagline of Pokemon.
Yeah. And the first thing, like, I don't, obviously I don't have experience with a lot of games. Like, the first thing in the first couple of gens that happens is, like, Professor Oak is all, hey, will you help me complete the Pokedex? Now, I've been told that's still the point in the new games. But here's the thing. You cannot get all 800 Pokemon in any of the new games.
Yeah.
You have to have played all the prior gens and transfer all your Pokemon over.
Oh, geez.
And that, to me, is dumb. It's dumb. That is the most off-putting thing about the new games, is that, no, I can't buy Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and have all of the Pokemon. I can't do it. It's impossible.
I can't catch...
I mean, there's Pokemon Bank. I realize, if you get lucky, you can get everything you need. But, like, that is tedious. That's not gameplay.
Right.
That's you trading with other players, praying to God they're willing to give up all this stuff.
There are really into that. Not me, but
yeah, there are a lot of people. But, like, I am into playing the damn game.
Right.
And catching Pokemon out in the wild.
That was the fun of it, was going out into the wild and running around, and then all of a sudden, hey, look, I don't have this one. Ooh, this one's cool.
I used to spend hours farming for that 0.001% chance for a Pokemon to pop up.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind it.
Well, how many times did you have to go through the Safari Zone to just get a Kangaskhan?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Crazy.
And the thing is, like, when we're talking about, what can you be back in? One, console Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's going to at least get me to try.
Right.
And we're getting that, of course. What they could have done, like, I'll say this, and people who love Pokemon don't want to hear this. And this is why I'm so excited about the rumor. A reboot. Reboot, scratch 800 Pokemon.
Yep.
I'm not saying go back to 151. I'm not even saying go back to the OG 151. You can even start with all brand new Pokemon again, but a very, only 100 or whatever it is, and just reboot the entire franchise because it is so far over people who played Gen 1 and Gen 2's head and haven't played since. The Pokemon has advanced so far over our heads.
Yep.
What we don't like when we think Pokemon, we're thinking of Charizards and Pikachus and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then we go into the game and we don't know any of these Pokemon.
Right.
And that's what happens in a first generation, like the first time you play, like the very first game in a franchise. But when you're so far detached from it, but you still remember all this stuff that's relevant and isn't rebooted yet. It just gets wrecked when you go into it. Like I know, like she mentioned, like the Alolan, right? Like they took a lot of the old Pokemon and kind of redid some of them to make them Alolan versions, and it's like that's great, that's neat. I think that's a really really cool idea. Unfortunately, I can't pick up that game and catch all 800 Pokemon. I have to go back and play 7 generations of Pokemon to do that.
Right.
And on top of that, some of the Pokemon you can't even get anymore because they were event only during those generations.
Yeah.
So it's like it's almost impossible today to complete the Pokedex.
Right.
If you have not been playing Pokemon all this time.
Right.
That to me is the most off-putting thing about the current games is how they have been designing these games over the and it's been this way since Gen 1.
Right.
The difference was that when Gen 1 there wasn't anything else.
Right.
And the only event Pokemon they had, you could glitch the game fairly easily to get in game.
Yeah. Or Game Genie.
So like I never liked event Pokemon anyways, as that being the only way to get it.
Right.
But whatever. It's not even like we talked about before some of the complexities and so like what I can even get used to that.
Yeah.
But the when someone tells me there's 807, 809 Pokemon, whatever it is, like it just makes me not want to play.
My brain hurts.
I used to be able to recite. It used to be a proud moment when you could recite all 151 Pokemon and do it in order of their actual numbers.
Right.
Like that used to be a proud thing. How many of you out there can recite 800 plus Pokemon in a row? And what like if I name Celebi, what number of Pokemon is that? Do you know? You have no idea. There's so many Pokemon, you have no idea.
Yeah.
You know the original 151 order, I bet.
Yeah. Didn't they actually in some of those games go back and actually add in? So technically, like some of the newer Pokemon are actually down in the 150s or
I have
the
no
single
idea.
digits.
I thought
they did.
I wouldn't have any idea if I'm being honest.
Right.
Because I haven't played.
I mean, I could be wrong, but yeah, for me, I agree. I don't know if there's anything that they could have done to brought me back to the 3DS or any of the newer versions of Pokemon because of the way they started out. There was this sense of accomplishment when they said, gotta catch them all, and you finally did. There's that sense of accomplishment that you can't get nowadays. It's one of those things that it was ingrained into our heads on Gen 1. Gotta catch them all.
I'll tell you the number one thing that put me off. We talk about the Pokemon numbers. I'm not saying that each new generation of Pokemon shouldn't add new Pokemon. Of course they should. It'll get stale if it just stayed at 151. But the amount they have added. Think about this. We're 7 generations in. There's 800 plus Pokemon. Mm-hmm. That means on average they've been adding almost 100 new Pokemon every generation. That's way too many.
Yep. The only way I could think of that is if they made each game its own individual game.
And like, Darren, you'll know this because you played the recent ones. How many different types of Pokemon are there now?
Oh, God.
Too many.
Okay, so just start listing types.
Fire type, water type, grass type, ghost type, fairy type, dragon type. Did I say ghost type?
Yes.
Yep. Flying
type,
psychic,
yep.
Psychic, fighting. Is legendary a type? I don't think so.
I don't think legendary is type, no.
I don't know. Too many now.
A lot.
Yeah.
And even Darren is someone who likes the new games. Like, it's too many.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is there a dragon type? Dragons were just part of other types.
Yeah.
Charizard's a damn dragon.
Water, fire, and grass.
Like, seriously. Charizard's a dragon.
Electric.
We
forgot electric. Yeah.
Electric.
How can we forget electric?
Like Charizard is a dragon, but he's probably not a dragon type because he's fire.
No, actually, he's not even a dragon type. Period.
Then there's normal. Don't forget about normal.
If I remember right, Charizard's not even a dragon type. Period. He's a fairy type.
What?
Yeah, if I remember.
But he's fire.
Yeah,
he's always been fire.
He's a fire fairy type.
What the heck is a fire fairy type?
It's double type. It's a double type Pokemon.
Right
no,
I'm almost positive.
No. If they ruin Charizard, I'm gonna be pissed. Reboot or I'm done. I'll tell you right now.
Okay, I don't know. He's flying and fire.
Okay, I thought he was. I could swear he was fairy.
Well, why? Why does he have to be multiple types?
I'm going to Google Pokemon
I could
type.
swear he was fairy at one point in time,
I
which made no sense to me whatsoever.
What type of Pokemon is
I just Googled it.
Charizard? I'm Googling right now, too.
Yeah.
I got to see with my own eyes. Okay.
All
Right
I
now
got-
it says
the
flying and
complete
fire.
list right here. We missed a few. There's
What?
normal, fighting, flying, poison, ground, rock, bug, ghost, steel, fire, water, grass, electric, psychic, ice, dragon, dark, and fairy.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. What is that, about 15?
One,
I don't
two, three, four.
You're probably undershot.
Right.
There's like 18.
Okay. I was close. But still, way too many.
Remember when? What was it? What was it in Gen 1? It was there was fighting, psychic, fire, water, grass, electric,
Normal.
normal. I think it was 8. I'm trying to think what the last one was.
There's
So
actually 19 if you count the question mark type.
Oh, the unknown.
Yeah, no, or missing no.
Missing no.
Yes.
But like, I'm mad that I'm kicking myself that I'm forgetting one of the OG Gen 1 types because I'm pretty sure it was the even number. Fighting, I don't know. It makes me mad.
No, it's some type that's associated with a move that is now just a ghost move. It was in like Gen 2, I think.
Type chart. Gen 1.
Okay, Eric's bringing up the types right now from Gen 1.
Maybe.
Okay, as he looks that up. Anyways, like that's the thing. You know, when you ask like what could they do, the things they tried to do to bring people back, bring Kanto region back, bring this back, do this, do that, do X, Y, Z. They didn't solve any of the primary issues that people like us have. People that are Gen 1ers or Gen 2ers or whatever the case may be. Because the problem is that the reason we played the game now feels impossible. I'm fine. I'll catch 800 Pokemon. But can I do it in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon? No, then I don't want to play. That's my kicker. If I can't do it in the game, if I can't complete the Pokedex in the game, and I don't, no, forget this. Some people told me you could complete the Pokedex in the game. Forget completing the Pokedex. If I can't capture every Pokemon in the game,
complete the Alola Pokedex in the game without trading.
yes, the Alola Pokedex. But what about all the rest of the Pokemon?
Well, no.
Okay, that's my point. And some people say, well, then that's like a reboot because you just have just a limited amount of Pokemon. Yeah, but then I'll be seeing other players out there with other types of Pokemon in there because they imported it from the old games, and it just makes it all unfair and unbalanced, and I don't like that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to bring your Pokemon game to game.
Seem right.
I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if all of the Pokemon are available in every game, then it's fair for everyone.
If you can bring your obscure Pokemon from the last gen over, I should be able to catch that obscure Pokemon in
Or
this
breed it, or whatever the case may be.
Apparently there was 15 in the original.
Let me see.
I don't remember Dragon being a type.
I'm trying to think. Dragon might...
Was Dratini and
well, they were normal. They might have been normal Dragon.
water? I don't...
Normal, fire, water, electric, grass. I don't think ice was a type.
Articuno.
Oh, ice was not a type in I don't think, Gen 1. Oh, and your phone did.
Yeah.
I don't think ice was a type in Gen 1. I don't remember ice being a type. Anyone that was like ice Pokemon was just a water Pokemon.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah.
Like 90%.
yeah,
No, I could be confused with the card game.
Yeah,
the card game
yeah.
didn't have,
Right.
all those ones. So
Yeah.
that might have thrown me for a loop as well
Yeah.
because I was big into the trading card game.
Yeah.
But like, I've probably played more overall Pokemon games than Darrin has. And I played a ton of spin-offs.
Yeah.
But it's like I played Snap. I played Stadium. I
Mhm.
played Coliseum. I played, I'm trying to think of other spin-off games. I played Mystery Dungeon. I played Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow.
Mhm.
And Silver and Gold. And I've dabbled in Diamond and Pearl. One of the two. I can't remember which one I dabbled in. I actually bought it. I have dabbled in Fire Red, Leaf Green, blah, blah, blah. Because like those are supposed to be like reboots of Gen 1. It just didn't feel the same.
Mhm.
Because all these new Pokemon, I'm still seeing like all this crazy stuff, and you can't get all the Pokemon in the like the what gets lost on people is the reason that people play Pokemon in the first place. Catch them all in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Every generation after one, you couldn't really do that. And that's probably See, that's probably why I didn't buy Generation 3. Because when Gold and Silver came out, you couldn't catch every Pokemon in that game.
Mm-hmm.
You had to import your Pokemon from Red and Blue. I had Red and Blue. I did import my Pokemon. But it frustrated me that I had to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you might say, well, why would you want to recatch them if you already have them? Because, especially back then with link cables and everything, it was just more convenient for me to catch them again.
Right.
And there's that excitement level of, it's really cool to think the very first Charizard I ever had in Red, that I could still be playing with that beast today in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and I could have took him with me every single game. Yeah. There is that cool factor, and that definitely should be an option.
Mm-hmm.
That should exist. Mm-hmm. You should be able to carry your Pokemon game to game. Not saying you shouldn't. But also every single game I should have been able to catch a Charmander and turn it into a Charizard.
Right.
And re-experienced bringing up another Charizard.
Right. For me, right now, I think if I were to do Pokemon, I would almost make each individual game its own standalone type of series. Where, you have Red, Blue, and Yellow. Gen 1. Each new gen is its own standalone thing.
Well, that is what they did. That's exactly what they did.
No, because I'm not saying bringing in any old Pokemon. So
that's what they did, like with Sun and Moon. And yet we didn't want to play it.
You can still get Pikachu and stuff like that in
if you import.
Right.
You can't get it in the game. The game has its own, as Darrin said, its own Pokedex that you can complete in the game. It's its own thing. It's separate from all the other games. It's exactly what you're asking them to do. They already did it, and yet it didn't bring you back.
Well, I think that was probably more to do with the
demo.
Really crappy demo.
But
that was a terrible demo.
We think it was a terrible demo. A lot of people thought it was an awesome demo.
Yeah.
That's the thing. There might be more to it than what we're saying, because what we're saying is why, in general, we haven't gotten back in. But what, you just said, well, if they did this, okay, well, they did do that for you. So now what? Why? What's the other reason?
I don't know.
There's something else about it.
It feels, also just from that demo, too, it feels like there's a lot more gimmicks in the game as well.
Yeah.
They incorporated
Z moves that was added.
Yeah, they also added, you're running around taking pictures, and it's like...
Yeah, that's Pokemon Snap.
I know.
Added the game, basically.
Right. Why?
Taking pictures in Sun and Moon.
Why? Pokemon Snap... Give me a Pokemon Snap.
It's not better than Pokemon Snap, that's for sure.
Give me a Pokemon Snap. If you're going to incorporate taking pictures of Pokemon, give me Pokemon Snap.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with having the ability to take pictures.
It just seems extra gimmicky.
It's giving veteran players more to do. We're not considered veteran players anymore, so to us, it's just extra fluff that doesn't even need it. To people who play every single generation, putting hundreds of hours in, they're like, hey, this is cool. Something else to do besides what I literally do every single game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, as I say, to us, I think, at least I'll just speak for me. I can't speak for you. When I try out games since the first couple of gens, I am overwhelmed very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Because what gets lost on people today, as much as I don't know if Darrin considers himself a pro, but how awesome people,
Pokemon,
how awesome people think they are a pro, even if they don't think they're so awesome they can beat other players. They feel like this game, I know this game in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a pro at this game.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we felt with Red, Blue, Green, whatever.
Yeah,
Yellow, and then when we got even Silver and Gold, even a little bit of that, we felt like we are Pokemon masters, even if we're not the greatest in the world.
Right.
Even if we're not the greatest in the trading card game, whatever. We had that feeling that we are masters.
Mm-hmm.
And now when I pick up a Pokemon game, because it's been so long, it's understandable why I don't feel like a master. I pick it up. Because when you picked up Red and Blue, you didn't feel like a master. The difference is I played Red and Blue.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I pick up Pokemon, I expect a lot of familiarity. I expect a lot of easing me into it in the same kind of way, teaching me, in the same kind of way that I'm used to. I expect to want to skip the how to catch a Pokemon part. But then now they added all things like, oh, there's 17 different balls and there's this and that and blah blah blah. And now we got breeding and we got I know breeding's been around I think since Gen 2, but I didn't really do it in Gen 2.
Right.
As I said, Gen 2 is the game that made me stop liking Pokemon. So
I'll tell you why I don't feel like a pro. It's because I have a friend who plays Pokemon, and I guess I'm fairly good at Pokemon, but he trades every day. He's on message boards. He has hacked Pokemon. He grinds every day, spends thousands of hours in Sun and Moon, and plays all the other games and levels the Pokemon up to send them to Sun and Moon. And he knows how to get all these rare Pokemon. You got to go to the specific area and then use an item on this Pokemon and all this and that. And he knows all the types, advantages and disadvantages, and all the EVs and how to use berries and how to use this and that and maximize every chance he has of winning. As goes through the battle tree constantly. Stuff like that. Just a super fan, super pro that I know I'll never be because I'm not about to sink that much time into it.
Okay. But got to remember, and this is what I said, that's what we were back then.
Right.
Yes, we didn't necessarily beat a whole bunch of other people, but we felt like we knew everything. Even if we really didn't, it felt like we did. We might not have known necessarily all the best EV combos and the best Pokemon to court certain moves with, but that's because it was all new. We were experimenting. Nobody knew back then. Nobody knew. It was still new and being figured out. But now everybody else does know. So we go into a game, which I have to admit, this is a big part of it. We haven't talked about this. Community. Back then, and it's still true today, Pokemon is very much a community. When I talk about Pokemon, like if people even get this far in the podcast, just look in the comments. How many people are going to be bitching at me from the Pokemon community? I don't feel welcome. I feel like they don't want me. Like I want to get in on Pokemon Switch. They want nothing to do with me. They don't want me. There's people that tell me I shouldn't even talk about Pokemon because I'm a Gen 1er or whatever the case may be. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, when did Pokemon become such this exclusive club that pushes anyone out that has a different opinion than me? That's not what Pokemon was back then. There were people that played Pokemon for different reasons. There are people that wanted to be pros and go to the Pokemon tournaments. That wasn't me. But they did it, and they had fun, and they played it for a different reason, and we didn't hate each other for it.
No, for sure.
And I don't hate these people, by the way. It's just annoying when I'm being told, as someone that has openly admitted I am trying to get back into Pokemon, you're telling me don't bother, and you're trying to kick me out before I even get started. It's frustrating.
And I think part of me is this whole, this whole 3D world is interesting, but I love the top-down 2, maybe 2.5D.
Well, I don't care about any of that. That's what the last 8 gens have been. Go play it. That's what. I'm sorry. Up until what, X and Y? That's what Pokemon was. So like you could have been playing it all the time.
I could have been.
You didn't.
No, I know. I think there's bits and there's bits and pieces of each individual. It's not one individual thing. It's bits and pieces of other, like, this culmination of things that it's kind of slowly loses me. After each gen.
This is the thing. Like when someone I always point out, Gen 2 was when my love of the series started to wane. And that's when I realized I wasn't going to buy every single Pokemon game. Some of it's because you're growing up, you're getting other stuff. I started getting big into Zelda, blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't mean that I had to stop with Pokemon. Because I was still doing the trading card game for a while. I was big into the trading card game until, even with the new Pokemon, until Wizards of the Coast stopped making the cards. And another company took it over because that new company basically banished all the old cards, which made me, as a trading card player, feel like I just wasted years of my life.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it really devastated me because if I was serious about one thing, it was Pokemon trading card games.
Oh, yeah.
I go to tournaments. I wanted to go to the World Championship. I was big into it, like people are big into trying to become Pokemon Masters, even still to this day with a trading card game, I guess.
Yeah.
But when they banned all the old cards, I'm like, this is just pissing me off. So that is what it is. That's what kind of got me out. That was a massive change.
Right.
That hasn't necessarily happened with Pokemon. It's been Game Freak this whole time. But it felt like that I'm not saying game series can't evolve.
Right.
Zelda, as an example, all these years, almost every single Zelda game feels different.
Mm-hmm.
You could argue some of them feel like a reboot.
Right.
But when you play that game, everything that you're able to do or meant to do can be done within the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, like when you play Breath of the Wild, it doesn't matter if you didn't play Skyward Sword. It's completely irrelevant to your experience in Breath of the Wild.
Right.
It doesn't mean that opinions can't be skewed.
Right.
But each game stands completely 100% on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon is one of those franchises, especially when you're someone like us that have that nostalgia feel, that when you get into a game, you have these pre-existing expectations from your childhood, and you just feel like you're so on the outside heading in. Each game, even though we just said how Sun and Moon kind of sort of stands on its own with the Alola and stuff, it's still one of those things like, yeah, but when you first enter Sun and Moon, I remember in the demo anyways, the first thing it said is, hey, you just got here to this island. That means there's more.
Yeah. You're still part of that world.
You aren't actually from that island. You're
Yeah.
you're from Kanto or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And it's like, in Zelda, it never feels that way. Every game you wake up
Well, yeah.
and you're from Kokiri Forest. Even though you find out later your mother dropped you off, you're from somewhere in Hyrule, probably Castletown. You are from, everything is inclusive in the game. You're not a visitor. Sun and Moon to me, from the demo, felt like I am a visitor to this land,
Right.
but there's more.
Right.
And the game doesn't let me do that more.
Right.
It's limited to just this land.
Right.
And some of that's because of the open world games that have existed out there that do let you do that more. Like, I'm a visitor here, maybe that's where I start, but I can eventually go back.
And that's kind of like what Gen 2 did, where you could go back and play the first region.
Yeah. And
And
I've
the
said this
second
before,
region.
like, I want all the regions in one game. That would be one way that would get me excited. Is I can't catch all 800 Pokemon because all the regions exist in one
be a
game.
massive game.
And they talk about massive game, I'm sorry, there is open world games that are just as big.
Oh yeah,
It's not
no. I'm just saying. I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a massive game.
big. Like, it can be done. I'm not saying it's not difficult. I don't know why.
Right, no,
like
for
a
sure.
lot of Pokemon fans will tell me that you can't get that because it'd be too big, too difficult, too this, too that, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, that's because you're so ingrained in what Pokemon currently is.
Right.
That this is what people didn't think open world games like Breath of the Wild were even possible 30 years ago.
Right.
So like, you're so ingrained in what it's always been that you can't see a world that's different than that. And I feel like that's what needs to happen with Pokemon. Is it needs a radical shift that just shakes up.
Right.
So it makes it so everyone feels new again to what is happening. Breath of the Wild just did that with Zelda.
Right.
It just tore down everything Zelda has been for 25 years and said, we're done with that. This is what it is now. And it feels like if you want to get me truly back, I'm going to try to get back without it if it doesn't do that. But for reboot, whatever you want to call it, like Breath of the Wild's on a reboot.
Right.
It needs to just rip everything down and make every Pokemon player feel new again. It gets rid of that cocky feeling that current Pokemon fans have, and that's going to upset some people that it got torn down. Breath of the Wild upset people too. People who love dungeons hate Breath of the Wild, but you know what?
Right.
It's the most critically and potentially highest selling Zelda game ever created. Tearing down the walls, like, think about, I use this always as an analogy. Think about Pokemon Go.
Yep.
It kind of sort of did that. It took what every Pokemon trainer has always ever dreamed of. Catching Pokemon in real life.
Right.
As much as possible, obviously. The next step is full VR. But
yeah.
It took that, and it did it smartly by saying, look, we're sticking with Gen 1 right away. And more people downloaded, installed, and played Pokemon Go than any Pokemon game in the history of Pokemon. It's not even close. Hundreds of millions of players. Game Freak dreams of having a game come out that can do that. I think something Breath of the Wild-esque, something that shakes the foundation of Pokemon and makes everyone a noob again.
I'm not quite sure how you would do that.
I don't know. That's the thing. I didn't know how they could do it with Zelda either.
Right.
And they did. I don't have the answers to it.
Right.
But if they can Breath of the Wild this Pokemon game, then And not only will it get me back in, it's going to get a ton of Pokemon players, just like Pokemon Go did, to come back. Like, even as Pokemon Go's popularity has waned, there are still more people playing Pokemon Go today than playing Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. By a significant margin. Tens of millions of players. They need to do something like Pokemon Go, not say remake Pokemon Go, that already exists, but shaking the foundation. That's what Pokemon Go, it shook our expectations for what a Pokemon game is. They need to do it again on Switch. And then this time it needs to be done by the Pokemon team. It can't be an outsider.
Right.
We need Game Freak to step up and be like, look, we're tired of making the same stuff every time. And I realize you guys talk about all the evolution and the story changes and you know, how they kept a lot of things the same, but changed some things and added types and added you know, different types of breeding and IVs and all the stuff they've added. That's great. They have tried to do things to expand. It felt like all they've done is expand upon what Pokemon was back in Red and Blue. It would be akin to saying, going from The Legend of Zelda, skipping over Zelda 2, then to Link's Awakening, and then A Link to the Past, and then skipping over all the 3D games, and then going to, you know, the Minish Cap, and Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, and A Link Between Worlds, like skipping all the evolution that has happened in Zelda and just sticking with that same formulaic type of experience that admittedly they have added a ton of stuff to that top-down 2D style of games. Even, you know, Spirit Tracks and you know, Phantom Hourglass add into that. Touch control is 2.5D, but it's still that top-down style game. It adds all this new things. It adds tons of new stuff. Yet none of those games are among the best-selling Zelda games. Because the ones that are the ones that really shook everything up. Or at least the Zelda games I enjoy the most. Ocarina of Time felt like it shook everything up because, admittedly, Ocarina of Time is A Link to the Past in 3D. But it felt like it shook everything up because of the perspective. Maybe that's all it needs. Maybe that's all Pokemon needs to get me, is make it like almost a first-person or over-the-shoulder full 3D world. I don't know. Maybe that's all it needs to do. I can't tell you. I don't know.
Make a game where you're the Pokemon and you try to run away from trainers.
Well, till it happens, I don't know what it needs to be. But that's what Ocarina of Time did. I like Majora's Mask significantly more. Think about how different Majora's Mask is than anything that's ever happened in Zelda before. Think about how different Breath of the Wild is than anything that's happened before. That's how you get people to come back. You might not satisfy everyone, and you're going to burn. The Zelda team knew when they released Breath of the Wild, people that love dungeons, that love those Skyward Sword dungeons, that love the Twilight Princess dungeons, love the dungeon focus of the games, were not going to be happy. But they didn't care. They wanted to bring back all the people that had left Zelda over the years. And they did that successfully. And they created new fans on top of that. Breath of the Wild became such a sensation that my daughter was talking about it because kids at her school were playing it. And she asked me, Dad, isn't that Zelda game you play all the time, Breath of the Wild? Yeah. Like, everyone's talking about it at school. Like, apparently it's one of the best games ever made. I'm like,
yep.
This is an elementary school. It's getting around.
Yeah.
When I'm at that elementary school, the only time I ever hear about Pokemon is if they're playing Pokemon Go on their phone. I'm not saying that some of them don't play Pokemon. It just doesn't feel like it had that sensation feel because it's just, I don't want to say it's stagnated, but it kind of sort of has.
Yeah.
The series hasn't necessarily grown or dipped in sales. It kind of just sits between that 12, 14, 20 million. It kind of just sits in, and I know that's a wide range. Zelda wishes it had that kind of range. But it's just, that's just my personal feeling. If they can shake the foundation like Pokemon Go did. I'm not saying they're going to hit the success of Pokemon Go. Huge install base. But I think they could create the best-selling Pokemon game of all time. And they're going to do that because everyone who's ever played a Pokemon game that stopped playing it at one point is going to hear about it and feel like we got to try this. That's what Breath of the Wild did to Zelda fans. They heard, even if they ended up hating it, they still bought it and tried it. Yeah. Because they heard so much great things about, guys, you know, like how you even played Zelda for, dude, like Breath of the Wild changed everything. Yeah. And it's amazing. Yeah. And it's perfect 10. We need to start hearing that Pokemon's a perfect 10 again. Yeah. When's the last time you remember a Pokemon game getting straight perfect 10s across the board? There's never been a Pokemon game rated as high as Ocarina of Time and Zelda. It's never happened. There's never been a Pokemon game that's been rated that good.
How did the originals rate?
I don't remember. Yeah. I honestly, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you.
Right.
But they're not in the top 10. I know that of all time. So it's kind of it's kind of like we need that kind of hype for Pokemon. And I think Pokemon always feels like a franchise that should be up there with the Zeldas getting those high reviews.
Oh, for sure.
But something is holding it back from that. And I feel like that's something, maybe the same reason that I'm not getting back into it,
Yeah.
So if they do that, again, you guys maybe know what that should be. I have no idea. I didn't know what it should have been with Zelda, and they did it, and I love it. And I didn't think anything in my lifetime would top Secret of Mana ever.
Yeah.
It held firm for over 20 years, despite my love of Zelda, despite my love of Mario. Then Breath of the Wild came out, and my expectations for Zelda are now blown so out of proportion that there's no way the next Zelda game can even probably compare. At least that's what I'm thinking now.
Yeah, you say that now.
That's what I'm thinking now. I probably thought that with Ocarina of Time back in the day, and then Majora's Mask happened. So
No, for sure.
That's my feeling. My rant.
Yep.
That's all I got. You got anything else to add?
Nope. I think we summed it up.
I think Darrin fell asleep.
Yeah, I think so too.
Darren's still here. He's looking up original Red and Blue review scores.
Oh, nice. Yeah, let me know. You looking them up on Metacritic or something? I don't even know if Metacritic has them. They probably do.
Metacritic has them for Fire Red.
They don't have them for Pokemon Red though.
I'm
gonna go to I'm gonna go to GameRankings.com quick.
Fire Red has an 8.7 user score. That's not what I'm looking for. 81.
81.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna glance at GameRankings.com too because they usually go way back. I'm gonna look up Pokemon in general and see. Like the top-rated Pokemon game of all time is the Game Boy Advance Pokemon Johto Finish. Not even a mainline game.
It's what?
It's only. Never mind. I'm not going to count it. Never mind.
Okay.
It's only got one review, so that doesn't count.
Yeah. No.
Pokemon Silver.
Okay.
Pokemon Red was 87% on Game Ranking.
Okay, so Pokemon Silver
rounds up to 88.
Pokemon Silver has a 91.35 with 23 reviews.
Okay.
Remember, this is way back when there wasn't as many review outlets.
Right.
Pokemon Puzzle Challenge is next at 90.
How many reviews?
10 reviews.
Okay.
Pokemon Gold version, which again Silver.
Yep.
89.56.
Yep.
Pokemon Blue at 88.
Yep.
Pokemon Soul Silver remake of Silver 88. Funny how it's actually rated lower than the OG Silver with more. It's because more reviews. You know?
Right.
Pokemon Sun, believe it or not,
interesting,
is the best rated Pokemon game in a hell of a long time. 52 reviews.
Where's Red at? We know.
Red. I see blue version. Red version is 87.86.
Okay.
Heart Gold, like they're all rated. Basically, you're looking at mid to high 80s.
Yeah.
Yep. With one mainline that got over 90.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, you look at that, right? And then you type, and I know we're talking about critical rating here, but it does make a difference because it lets you know if it just consistently stays there, it means they're consistently making high quality games, but they're not getting that extra step.
Yeah.
Zelda games, best rated. Ocarina of Time, 97.54. Okay, 1998. Oh, 2017, Breath of the Wild, 97.4. That was the Wii U version, by the way. It ranks slightly. Oh, it's only got 5 reviews. That's why. So I say most of the reviews are probably for the Switch version. There's 63 Switch reviews counted. Twilight Princess, 2006. 16 reviews, 95. And that's the GameCube version. The Wii version's right behind that with 84 reviews at 94.58. Wind Waker even is up in the 94s. And like you'll see going down, like Zelda games are consistent in the 90s, but then you do have some that are down in the mid 80s. Like there is some variance.
And a couple of 70s though.
And there's some and even when you look at the top of them, they kind of spread out over the years. Like this game hit a 95, but then the next couple probably only hit like a 90 or an 80.
It sounds like they took chances and did different things.
More risk.
Yeah.
The Wind Waker was a huge risk. Going back to Twilight Princess probably was less of a risk, but it felt amazing coming off of the Wind Waker in the West. Breath of the Wild did what Breath of the Wild did. Ocarina of Time did what it did. Link to the Past did what it did. All of these games felt revolutionary. I don't know that I have dabbled in a Pokemon game because I've tried Pokemon games over the years and felt like this is something special. Like when you get in Breath of the Wild, the first time you walk out of that cave, you know this is not your average Zelda game.
Yeah.
This is different. You get this feeling in the Wind Waker too because of the sea. It's never been in a Zelda game before. You get to even the title screen, you're like, what is happening? Not just the art style, like water everywhere. You wake up again up in a watchtower with your sister. You have a sibling now.
Yeah,
like you kind of get that feeling in Wind Waker. Okay, like they found a way to just blow your mind over and over again with Zelda. Felt this way in Ocarina of Time. It felt all amazing when you're in the thing, but then when you get out in the Hyrule Field for the first time, I think anyone who's played Ocarina of Time will always remember that first time they stepped into Hyrule Field.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter that it's empty as hell and really boring and bland. You don't realize that at the time. You step out and you're like, what? Especially back in the 90s, what is this
world? And then go over to
You've never seen.
Nope.
Well, you've never seen anything like this in a Zelda game, or even maybe in gaming at all back in the 90s. Like, you just step out and you're like, this is massive. How can games get bigger than this? That's what you're thinking. It's actually kind of small, but back then it was like a big deal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, and there's been so many of these moments, and every time I boot up a Pokemon game, and you're greeted with some of the same stuff, like, oh, what's your name, or oh, what's your gender, pick one of the 3 starting Pokemon. Like, it's just like this is the same every time.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's all these differences, and some of them can be off-putting. You're gonna love or hate, but it's kind of like even in like this Alolan area where they got rid of the gyms and did something different. It's still one of those things where, like, I understand that changes things up, but it still felt kind of sort of like Pokemon's always been. There was that familiarity that was too familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Breath of the Wild, you boot it up. Okay, so it's familiar. Wake up, Link. Okay, it's Link. You're waking up again, like you've done in like every Zelda game ever. But from the moment like that, okay, Zelda, but wait, there's voice acting. That's throwing me off.
Yeah, right.
Why am I in a space age sci-fi chamber? That's throwing me off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get out there and like, okay, this is different. Look at this giant world. Then you pick up a stick and you hit a Bokoblin and you're like, oh, this feels so satisfying. Probably broke my stick. Probably ended up dying.
Yeah, right.
But it just felt satisfying.
Yeah.
And there's these little and all of a sudden you see the Temple of Time and you're like, I have not seen this shit since Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
What is happening? Why is it in ruins?
Yeah.
You see a ruined Lon Ranch later. You see the like it makes it feel like a Zelda game while totally breaking all the conventions. And I feel like that's what has to happen to Pokemon, where they can still make it feel like this is very much a Pokemon game. This is just not Pokemon as you've ever seen it before. And I don't feel like they've ever done that. At least to me. And granted, I know that it's easy for me to say that because I played all the Zelda games, but I played them because it felt like that. Not with every game, admittedly, but with a lot of them. And even the ones I talked about before, where like the top-down games didn't necessarily feel that way. I was spreading out those top-down games over 20-plus years.
Right.
We're talking about Ocarina of Time to a very different Majora's Mask, to the Wind Waker, back to an Ocarina of Time style game, and then all of a sudden out the Skyward Sword with motion controls, and then all of a sudden Breath of the Wild. Like, wildly different games every time.
Yeah.
And it keeps you engaged because you never know what's going to happen. And Pokemon is like, I know what's going to happen. This next Pokemon game, you're going to talk to some sort of professor at the beginning. They're going to tell you how they need help completing the Pokedex. You're going to need to pick one of 3 starting Pokemon, because for some reason we have to be limited to 3 every single time.
Right.
Probably a basic type of water, fire, and grass. And you're going to have to choose a name, choose your gender, choose a pair of clothing. Yeah, you'll be able to change clothing later. Maybe you'll be able to dress your Pokemon up and put makeup on and do all these little fiddly things on the side that are all optional and everything. But the goal then is complete the Pokedex, beat the trainers, beat the gym leaders, and either become the Pokemon champion, beating the Elite Four again or whatever, or completing the Pokedex. And then you can't really, in some games, you can't really complete the Pokedex without the other games or whatever. We talked about that already. But it's kind of like this repeat of just beating into your head, like, this is what Pokemon is, it's what it's always going to be, and we're going to throw all these things on top of it to make it feel different. It feels like going from Legend of Zelda to A Link to the Past, and then A Link to the Past to, as I said, you're just kind of doing the same thing and adding new elements in, whereas I would rather just see it completely blown up. Pokemon has never had its Ocarina of Time moment. Ever. It's never happened. Pokemon today, I would argue, based on a little bit I played, I know, but is large. Like, if my daughter's playing Pokemon right now. She's loving it. I'm watching her play, and her experience, and as I'm watching her do it, is largely the same as mine was when I was a kid, and that's very nostalgic. That's very amazing. I love that she's getting into Pokemon, and she loves it so much. But she's loving it for a lot of the same reasons I did, and it's like, that just tells me that it hasn't really ever changed. It's never grown up with the audience. It's never tried to be different. And it's okay to have games that own what they are. Call of Duty very much owns what it is. But it's a yearly franchise. I don't want Pokemon being treated like that. To me, Pokemon is such an important IP that we shouldn't be like, oh, we just got Sun and Moon. Oh, we're getting Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon next year. Why?
Right.
Scrap that. Come back with Pokemon Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Take some more time between games and do something different every time. And I know there's a scare. I mean, they do it just like Call of Duty does it, even though they do have like different eras and stuff. Like now they're going to Black Ops 4 after coming off World War II. But they do it because the sales numbers are consistently high.
Mm-hmm.
So they can get away with doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they ever want to hit that peak, like sales numbers were consistently high for Zelda, then they did Ocarina of Time and it got even higher. If they could just Ocarina of Time or Breath of the Wild, this bad boy, they might see sales numbers they've never seen before. We're talking 30, 40 plus million,
Mm-hmm.
you know, especially if it's that revolutionary where it needs to become like Breath of the Wild where everyone who owns a Switch needs to buy this game.
Yeah.
Like everyone who owns a 3DS didn't buy, and there's 70 million 3DSs.
Yeah.
Sorry, was there 70 million copies sold?
Yeah.
Was there even 35 million copies sold of Sun and Moon? No.
Yeah.
So it needs to be that game that feels like you are buying. It is worth buying a Switch and this game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that, again, Pokemon has always been a system seller, but this needs to hit a new level.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what they need to do. That's all I got to say. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Nintendo Prime Podcast. Another long one, but you know what? It feels fitting to have a long one on Darren's return because we have been waiting for you for 5 years. Okay, 5 weeks.
I'll be back. I'll be back next week.
He'll be back. He'll be
Stuck
back next week and hopefully every single week until his grandparents decide to go on another vacay and then take everything with and say, bye, Darrin.
Yep.
But it's all good. Maybe someday we'll get you in person, and that'll be a fun cast in person. Especially if we can get him and get 5J out here. That would be fantastic. Yeah. It's got to happen someday. Someday we're all just going to go to E3.
There you go.
And it's going to be amazing.
It'd be awesome.
Even if we're all going for different outlets and different. Who cares?
Yeah.
We know we're meeting up and making this podcast happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and go follow Darrin at RealDarrin on Twitter. Don't know how often he's been updating it because I don't really pay much attention. I should probably hit that bell icon on your. Why? Hold on. Why is Twitter and YouTube both using bell icons now?
I don't know.
Hit that bell icon to get notifications. Like, why don't I just get notifications? And I guess I do follow.
Yeah, follow me. I've been tweeting a lot of Nintendo stuff, especially after today. So it's basically all I tweet about, and music sometimes. But
and for the first time ever, Eric.
First time ever. What?
First time ever on a podcast. Eric Moore. You can go follow him on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, editor, that means you actually have to add his Twitter handle.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
What is that Twitter handle again? Hit me up.
Emo8790. So that's EMOH 8790.
That's right. Go follow him. As he's told before, if he does tweet or retweets, it's sports stuff primarily. He's not going to be too much Nintendo. I mean, every now and then he might retweet something from Nintendo Prime. But that's cool. And obviously, I have another Twitter handle, at Nate Jantz. Otherwise, the main one you want to follow that I am most active on, that I'm always talking Nintendo, at Ninty Prime. Stay tuned, folks, because there's going to be some great stuff. I can let you know right now that next week we do have a special guest on. Not that Darren's not special here, but you're like a co-host at this point. Yeah. At least you should be. Feels like
we're
a guest because you
having
abandoned.
Sakurai on next week.
Sakurai! No.
Who, by the way, I know we were talking about earlier, we didn't know what project he was working on, and I think we might have even said that it sounds like he's not even working on this one, but he tweeted out that, yes, he's been toiling away on this game forever, on this upcoming Smash Switch game. I just saw that.
Well, hold on. Is this in reference to it being a new game, or is this in reference to he's been doing this since back before it came out on Wii U and 3DS, so he's just been a nonstop
he's specifically talking about the game Smash game showed off in the well, you know what, I'll bring it up.
Well, I know he's specifically talking about the game in the Direct.
But he's talking about how he can't say its name. He says, while we haven't gotten to the point where we can announce the game's title, I've been working on the title in silence day after day. Please look forward to new information and when the title goes on sale. And that was in a retweet of the Smash Bros. Account. And that translation is by Source Gaming at All Source Gaming.
Color me
Twitter.
Surprised. I honestly didn't think he was going to do anything with Smash.
Yep.
I thought he was done. Wow.
Wow.
Well, okay then, folks.
Yeah.
Get hyped!
Yeah, right.
That just changes everything.
Yeah.
I take everything. This entire conversation
time to re-record the podcast.
It's been 2.5 hours. Everything we said about the Direct Sorry.
Yeah.
Redeemed.
Yeah.
New Smash game. Get hype.
Maybe.
Who is the actual special guest next week?
Oh, okay. So we're having Player Essence on next week.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, like Darrin knows who he is. For those who don't know, he's an amazing YouTuber. He does a lot of similar stuff that we do. He reports on Nintendo stuff, gaming stuff in general. He's got his Player Essence news thing, and he does like a live show 5 nights a week where he has a discussion with his fans, talking about the news and everything. And I think every now and then he does a game stream. Does a lot of indie games, from what I can tell. I don't catch a lot of his streams because I'm busy doing my own content every night. But I do watch a lot of his videos. He's a great guy. I actually, during one of his live streams, I was actually live streaming at the same time. And we were getting some really generous donations, and I felt so inclined to show some love to him and threw some donations his way. Just because he works really, really hard. He's a father as well, trying to make his dream a reality. Mm-hmm. And I get so much support. I was sitting there watching the stream, but dude, nobody's giving this guy any money, man. I got to start the money train. So I started the money train, and that definitely got his attention. And because him and I, we've known it, we've gone back and forth on Twitter a few times, but haven't really had a talk. And now, like, we've been chatting all the time, and he's psyched to come on our podcast. He is not someone you guys should expect to see on our podcast often because, again, I just said every night he's doing something for his own stuff. But he is making time to come on at least once because he really wants to talk some good stuff with us. That means we're gonna have a full 4-person cast for the first time in a long time. And believe me, we are going to. I know I'm just Donald Trumping that up right there. Believe me, we are going to have some epic topics to bring up that are specially catered to Player Essence. If you know any of his content, you know the things he loves. We're going to be talking about it. We're going to make it happen. It's going to be probably one of the most interesting conversations we have had in 2018. Even more interesting than this Nintendo Direct.
Holy cow.
So get ready. Get pumped. Get excited. We'll see you next week. This is the Nintendo Prime Podcast.